Hello, good morning. Welcome to the news at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM, hits 103.9 FM in Accra, in Kumasi on Love 99.5 and in all 16 regions of Ghana via partner stations, also live on myjoyonline.com, X Spaces and YouTube. Coming up, the minority challenges Attorney General's decision to hand over investigations of AXA bribery scandal to Yoko, insisting OSP is better placed to probe the allegations.
If you look at the basis for which the office of the special prosecutor was established, you should say that it should go to the office of the special prosecutor.
But the Deputy Attorney General insists that his office would ensure appropriate investigative bodies handle the issue.
There are other offences involved in it that do not necessarily fall within the mandate of OSP, but which falls within the mandate of Yoko.
We'll also hear Deputy Attorney General and star witnesses who testified in the case that led to Chairman Wontumi's conviction received death threats and are now under strict police protection.
Our witnesses are every day threatened.
The two of them?
Yeah.
The two,
yeah.
Star witnesses
yeah.
for you?
And even the police investigators who testified and all, they threaten everybody.
Also this morning, Ghana Association of University Administrators here to call a strike despite an appeal from Education Minister to return to work while government resolves its outstanding concerns.
We have assured the minister that we will get back to our constituents and get back to him after 48 hours.
In business,
more oil marketing companies to review fuel prices at the pumps today after delays. We've got details on the Joy Business Report.
I am Amiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Do stay for details. This morning, the minority in Parliament is challenging the Attorney General's decision to have Yoko lead investigations into the AXA energy bribery scandal. NPP MP for Mention South, Naneje Bafwewa, argues that the OSP is better placed to investigate given the alleged involvement of public officials and politically exposed persons. Deputy Attorney General Justice Shremsai, however, has defended Yoko's role, saying the case could go beyond bribery to other economic crimes, including money laundering. We'll hear from the minority shortly, but first, here's Justice Shremsai explaining why government chose Yoko over the OSP to lead the investigation.
And it's also not true that it is just about bribery and corruption. It's also about money laundering. So there are other offences involved in it that do not necessarily fall within the mandate of OSP, but which falls within the mandate of Yoko. So all these nuances must be resolved. So it is not a question of I want to do it. Yes, you want to do it, but who has the mandate to do what ought to be done?
We can now hear from Naneje Bafwewa, who insists the persons involved with the matter make the choice of investigations even more important, hence the minority's call for an OSP-led investigation.
If you look at the basis for which the OSP was established, right, to prosecute persons who are public officers or persons who are politically exposed, ordinarily the matter should go to the OSP. Ordinarily, and I'm saying that with caution. That is why I'm using the choice of, I'm choosing my words carefully. Why? The persons that they name that could potentially be culpable in this matter. If you look at the basis for which the office of the special prosecutor was established, you should say that it should go to the office of the special prosecutor.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Attorney General Justice Shremsai says star witnesses and police prosecutors who testified in a case that led to Chairman Wontumi's conviction have come under a series of death threats and are now under strict police protection.
You do something to them.
People threaten you with all manner of things, and you receive such threats every day. The mere fact that you are doing your work can cause someone to just hate you, and some threaten violence, death, and all manner of things. Some try to even carry them out, but it's not everything that we is unhappy and is.
So have you received threats on your life?
Of course,
Now, the Ghana Association of University Administrators is maintaining its nationwide strike despite an appeal from the Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, to return to work and give government time to resolve their concerns. The union is demanding action on outstanding market premium disparities and other conditions of service issues it says have remained unresolved despite previous agreements. After meeting the minister yesterday, GAL leadership asked for 48 hours to consult its members before deciding whether to suspend the action. More in this report.
GTEC and Vice Chancellors Ghana have already urged the association to return to work, while the Education Minister Haruna Idrisu has also appealed for the strike to be suspended. At a stakeholder conference at the Ministry of Education, the minister assured GAWA that government would resolve outstanding payment issues within a month.
I want you to call off your action, the strike action. Give me 1 month from today. Today is like 16th. So 1 month from today, 1 month from today, but I need the data. That's all he's asked from me.
But despite the assurance and the minister's appeal, GAWA says the industrial action continues unabated. The association says it will maintain the strike pending further consultations with its members.
The strike is ongoing. We have assured the minister that we will get back to our constituents and get back to him.
For now, GAWA remains resolute in its decision to stay off the job. The development means the industrial action by university administrators remains in full force, despite repeated calls from key stakeholders in government for the association to return to work. For Joy News, Nancy Kumsen report, read to you.
Now, the ECOWAS Commission is calling for stronger border controls and regional cooperation to prevent violent extremist groups from exploiting weak surveillance systems to move firearms and ammunition across West Africa. The call comes as the Commission begins a 3-day training program for Ghanaian security agencies on the exemption procedure under the ECOWAS Convention on Small Arms and Light Weapons. He is acting head of Small Arms Division at ECOWAS, Adiomi Abayomi.
We have observed that violent extreme groups continue to have access to arms and ammunition. There are many reasons that are calling for this. One of them is our porous borders. If you travel across the region, you find out many of the borders are not manned. So the borders are porous, so this gives easy access to these terrorist groups to acquire arms and ammunition. And then also we've had whereby also these groups also the Bogu, national arm race, to cut away weapons and ammunition.
The Ghana National Fire Service is calling on government to fulfill its promise to retool the service as firefighters continue to work with critical gaps in equipment and protection. In our latest documentary, Fighting Fires, Fighting for Breath, shows how some firefighters are paying with their health after years of exposure to smoke and dangerous conditions. Here's Deputy Director for National Operations, ACFO1, Osmond Anum.
This gap has been for a very long time, and retooling the service itself, like procuring appliances and stuff for the service, is not a one-day thing. Mm-hmm. These vehicles and all the PPE and everything that comes are specialized equipment. So, for instance, if you want a fire tender, there must be specifications. You give out the specifications, and the tenders are built for you.
Now in our special feature, Invisible Lives, we meet 13-year-old Ima, who lives beneath the Kwame Nkrumah interchange and begs on the streets with his mother to survive. As he watches children his age head to school, Ima holds on to his dream of becoming a law enforcement officer. Ramad Bashir tells his story with support from SOS Children's Villages, Ghana.
A year ago, Ajua left Koforidua with her son Ima, hoping to build a better life in Accra. With no stable income and a decent shelter, the streets became their only refuge. 13-year-old Ima wakes up to torn pieces of cardboard, which served as his bed throughout the night. Beside him is his mother, Ajua. Together, they sleep beneath the Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange. Every morning, Ima follows his mother through the busy streets of Circle in search of benevolent individuals to spare him a coin or two. Around him, his age mates walk briskly to school. Ima watches them with admiration. His dream is to become a law enforcement officer.
So we go school. Let me hear police.
Hilda Mensah is a child protection specialist at UNICEF.
In 2011, the Greater Accra Social Welfare Office undertook some research. They found out that 61,000 children are living on the street in Accra alone. So if you were to get a sense of what happens in other major cities, that will give you a cause for worry.
This story is brought to you in partnership with SOS Ghana.
And as we end this bulletin this morning, up next is business on the Super Morning Show today.
Oh, jump on up. And you want this fast?
I want it fast. And I want it fast because the law constitution demands that we conduct trials fast, quickly, speedily. It's a constitutional provision. Article 19.1 says that every accused person is entitled to fair and speedy trial, and that trial should not be delayed. And I believe that it is also in the interest of the accused person, whatever allegation is put on you, to quickly have it determined whichever way, one way or the other, so you know your fate. But I'm also a legal practitioner, and I've done private practice before. And I know why in criminal matters or even in civil matters, one lawyer would say that I want it slow.
Why?
Because evidence is fungible. Evidence is fungible. So as you proceed slowly, witnesses may die, so many things can happen. So the delay may be beneficial to an accused person because the standard of proving that someone is guilty is very high. And you are relying on evidence, documents, electronic evidence, and all that. And all those things are fungible. They may deteriorate with time. Memories may fade. So there is a good reason why, an accused person and his lawyer will want a trial to slow.
I was just making the point there that when you walked in, you were in a suit and a tie. Everybody else should be on vacation. It's a legal vacation. Why are you still working?
Yes, so I think vacations are good. Everybody likes it. I like it too. But this particular vacation, what we call legal vacation, as far as my understanding goes, is for judges, not for lawyers. Sometimes we lawyers, because judges go on vacation, so the lawyers who do a lot of litigation, we tag ourselves along so we can get some little rest while they are on vacation. But speaking about legal vacation is for judges. In some jurisdiction, they call it judges' vacation. It's to let the judges, have a rest. And not even all judges. I think that's one thing the public needs to be aware of. It's not all judges, it's the superior court judges who are entitled to these vacation. But so if you go to the lower court, district, magistrate court, circuit court, they don't even have these vacation. They work and they are working as we sit here. So it tells you that it is not a time for the judiciary of any country to stop working at all.
But would you take a break?
I'm entitled to annual leave like any citizen
during this 2 months that they.
No, I can't take any break, any vacation now because of the way our work has been scheduled. I may take my annual leave sometime later in the year, but for now, I'm working.
I don't envy you because your work is that's crazy schedule.
Yeah.
There's only one deputy, is there?
Yes.
So you're the only deputy.
Yeah.
And I know when it comes to the Attorney General's office, the deputies tend to do a bulk of the work. It's almost what happens in chambers, right? The juniors do the bulk of the work, and then the seniors go to, which is what I see is happening with you. It's good because your boss has, trusted you.
Yes, and I need to, say this. My boss has been very. He's been a teacher and it was my teacher as well, so law school, and I've done some work with him before, and I'm very happy that he's giving me this opportunity to put myself to use, and also to the president for giving me this opportunity to serve my country. I was speaking with a friend. Sometimes we, as appointees, sometimes we talk, we share our, tiredness and frustration and happiness. And I was talking to a friend who said something which stuck with me since then. He said, look, this is the least we could do for our country, but most importantly, you want your kids to grow, and then when they grow, they will say that their father was here and did this much. And that is very important. You are not sitting down as a lazy person who is just wasting the taxpayers' money. So we try to do our best and sacrifice a lot to do this. But mostly I thank my boss for this opportunity that he's giving me.
Let's talk about legal vacation now in a serious sense. Today, the legal vacation controversy came back to affect one of the cases that we are prosecuting. Possibly almost all the cases we're prosecuting, but particularly the Hanan case with the buffer stock is
Dubai.
Now in a Dubai. Today, just a short while ago, have all been frozen almost, waiting the outcome of the Supreme Court's decision on that. First of all, the decision of the court. I know you stood on your feet in court today and raised objections. You wanted the case to go on.
Yeah.
The judge felt two schools of thought. You would take the first school, which is that once the case has gone to the Supreme Court, wait. You disagree with that school of thought?
Yes, I do. The danger with that school of thought, which allows, which says that proceedings must stop simply because some person or a party or a plaintiff has gone to court to file a suit. The danger with that is that then any person can file a suit and on the face of, regardless of whatever, in the face of it, say that this court is injuncted. And if all judges go this way, what it means is that then plaintiffs, in this case, the person is not even a party to the trial. He is a random person who says he has an issue, a constitutional issue, and then goes to Supreme Court to file that case, follows it up with an injunction, and on the face of the injunction simply says that Court 1 and 2 of the specialized division should not work.
And the 6 a.m. news brought to us by Absa Bank Ghana Limited. Your story matters. And Total Energies Total, we go the extra mile for you. Time now for the Joy Business Report brought to us by Omni Basic Bank, not just another bank. Akwafu.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm great. You?
As you can see, God is still taking very good care of his children.
Yes, and you're in your political suit today. So,
so what? There was a time, there was somebody with the DPP, Democratic People's Party, and it was with his political party. So I used to say political suit. Like political party. But anyway, Daryl, look, this morning I'm concerned about something. I'm concerned about the conditions of service and the plight of the men who help fight fire in this country. Just listen to this, Daryl. Just listen. Okay, listen.
Sometimes you sit down and you ask yourself questions. How are you going to end? Will you retire? Will you retire healthy? Or will you retire sick? Some retire and they get sick. Some get sick before they retire. So it's something that is given us, that is a serious nightmare to all or any. I remember I one time visited a health facility and I was advised to stop smoking. I told the doctor that I don't smoke. I'm just a fire officer who is always at the front line. So if you detect any smoke in me or sign of maybe smoking, I don't smoke. I only fight fire.
That's sad.
So this man here, his organs getting damaged because of the work he does.
I hope he's insured somehow.
Good question. How about this? Just listen.
When I came and I started using some of the PPEs that we have here, I was infected with some rashes from my head. I battled with these rashes. I spent a lot of money on it before, by God's grace, I was able to get medication for it. So sharing the same PPEs with sweat at the fire ground, we don't have disinfectants, like things that we use to disinfect the clothing. The only thing we do is to wash or dry them. In most cases, we even dry, not washing.
And how much does it cost to get PPE for each firefighter?
Good question. Good question. I mean, I cannot in my world understand this. That, look, the very people that we expect to help fight fires, even PPEs, There's one thing I've always said. Look, the only thing government cannot do, okay, is to create a human being. Even that one, they can decide that you won't give birth, you will not give birth. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Governments can do everything. Priority.
Yeah, and we know countries where they prioritize their first responders. They don't joke with them at all.
Yeah. So this morning, we'll bring you the feature, Fighting Fires, which talks about the plight of these firemen. The reason, simple. We need to deal with it. But also, there's a new strategy in the fight against illegal mining. So now, recovered forest reserves would have military men stationed there. Good strategy. We'll get into it here on the Super Morning Show. Who gets the trumpet this morning, Daryl?
Should we applaud OMCs who are reviewing prices?
They should. They should. The big ones should.
And those who are expected to today, I don't know why they're stalling, but
it's the 18th. So by the 16th, they should have done the review. Anyway, so to all the OMCs that are reviewing prices downwards, we say
trumpets. Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, more oil marketing companies expected to review prices at the pumps today after delays. Also coming up, banking analyst Dr. Benjamin Amoah expects Citi's good run to be sustained, insisting central bank's contribution cannot be discounted. Also, GCB emerges as dominant player in banking industry for last year, according to latest Ghana banking survey by PricewaterhouseCoopers. We'll tell you about it. Stay with us. My name is Daryl Kwao. Thanks for being with us. Hello to our friends listening from Koforidua on KT Radio. More oil marketing companies are expected to review prices at the pumps today. A significant number of them delayed in reviewing prices since last Sunday. Chief Executive of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies, Dr. Winston Amoah, tells Joy Business they are committed to ensuring consumers benefit from current market developments.
If you check the data, you realize that anytime the new pricing window falls on a weekend, there is some delay because Sunday would be definitely a day that most of them are off work, and the policy brings 24-hour notice to the regulator before whether going up or going down in order to do that. I believe that we're going to have full implementation. And let me be honest with you. Frankly speaking, it's the same when fuel prices are going up. When it happens the weekends, normally we see that taking place 24 hours. Now that today being a weekday, I believe that the MP, if they can confirm, should have received all prices that oil marketing companies and the LPG marketing companies intend to sell at this window.
You heard Dr. Winston Amoah, his chief executive of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies. Now, the city's recent performance has impacted positively on the rate of depreciation against the dollar since January this year. We have more in the following report.
The Ghana cedi, which had depreciated by more than 10% against the US dollar by the end of July this year, has now seen that depreciation narrowed significantly in just 1 week to a little over 4%. The gain cannot be limited to its year-to-date performance alone. On a monthly basis, the cedi appreciated by 6.55%, while the weekly recorded a 7.27% appreciation. This comes on the back of the cedi's record performance over the past week, which market analysts have linked to improved dollar supply from the Bank of Ghana, extractive sector inflows, easing demand pressures, as well as inflows from offshore investors participating in the country's bond auctions.
Meanwhile, banking and finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amoah, expects the city's good run to be sustained. This is based on the current forex management framework being implemented by the Bank of Ghana.
If you look at the current approach being used by the central bank, and if you have watched from last year up to this year, one should believe that the central bank will be able to manage it in the sense that the central bank will be able to keep the volatility in the currency or the depreciation within a particular band, within a predictable band, to help market watchers and entities that need the dollar to support their business. So in terms of sustainability, the answer is yes. Looking at what the central bank has been able to do for the past almost 20 months.
You heard banking consultant and finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amoah. Now, Second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Matilda Asante Siedu, has called for stronger coordination among regulators to address growing regulatory fragmentation in Ghana's digital financial services sector. She said the increasing convergence of digital lending and other emerging financial services requires a regulatory architecture that can keep pace with innovation. She said this at the National ICT Week celebration at the University of Ghana.
The second bottleneck is regulatory fragmentation at exactly the moment where we need coordination the most. Digital lenders, insurance technology firms, virtual asset providers now cross the mandate of the central bank. But we're confident that our open banking, digital banking, and digital credit frameworks are converging, even though they are not yet unified. Innovation does not respect institutional boundaries.
That was Second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Matilda Asante Siedu. GCB has emerged as dominant player in the several areas of the banking industry for last year. That's according to the 2026 Ghana Banking Survey. Details in the following report.
In 2025, the total banking sector deposit stood at 334.3 billion Ghana cedis. Out of this, GCB accounted for 12.3%. It was followed by EcoBank with 10.25% share. Now, out of the total 105 billion Ghana cedis of industry loans and advances for last year, GCB had 17.8%, making it the top-ranked bank in the industry when it comes to that category. In 2024, it occupied the number 2 spot. When it came to the total industry assets, GCB moved from number 2 in 2024 to number 1 rank in 2025. In terms of total industry operating income, GCB moved from the rank 2 in 2024 to the number 1 spot in 2025, accounting for more than 14% of the industry numbers. It wasn't an all GCB affair when it comes to the market share analysis put together by PwC Ghana. This is because UMB Bank Ghana also emerged as the financial institution with the highest growth in profit before tax in 2025. When it comes to the cost-income ratio, GCB came on top when it comes to the cost-income analysis compared to other banks as put together by PwC Ghana.
A new report by Maverick Research has revealed that 2 international commodities, cocoa and gold, will continue to shape the purchasing power of consumers in the retail sector in Ghana as producers receive favorable global prices. The report showed that Ghana had the strongest retail sector performance in some selected countries in West Africa in the first half of 2026. More in this report.
The report revealed that cocoa remains critical to Ghana and Ivory Coast. International prices of the commodities have corrected sharply from their previous highs, with the International Cocoa Organization benchmark at approximately $4,173 per ton on August 12, 2026. Maverick Research said lower cocoa prices could eventually reduce costs for chocolate, biscuits, and beverages, but it also warned that this could threaten export earnings and household incomes in cocoa-growing countries like Ghana and Ivory Coast. According to Maverick, this may create two-speed consumer markets, stronger spending in Accra and Abidjan, but weaker purchasing power in cocoa-producing regions. It added that national fast-moving consumer goods growth figures should therefore not be treated as evidence of uniform regional recovery. The report said gold gives Ghana an important buffer, as a stable cedi would help contain imported inflation and sustain consumer recovery.
You're listening to the Joy Business Report. Now, Vice Chair of the ICC Global Digital Economy Commission, Moses Baden Jr., has urged government to develop robust policies that protect national data sovereignty. He disclosed this at the Chief Executive's breakfast meeting organized by the International Chamber of Commerce, Ghana.
It is not good enough to treat business as usual, to have policies that lack credibility and deep knowledge, and the consequences of building data sets that will not protect our children for the future. The security of data sets must consider national sovereignty even as we build these digital platforms. There's a dual challenge in building sovereign national data that protects nations' sovereignty and preserves data, and also the challenge of making sure that these are interoperable, are integrated, and that we have an interface for free trade and global expansion as the ICC speaks. So the barrier between sovereign data, security data, and integration and interoperability with international standards for the free flow of goods is challenged. We must define policy as where the line is drawn, and we must protect it. This needs deep thinking and a very deep collaboration between governments and government think tanks.
Vice Chair of the ICC Global Digital Economy Commission, Moses Baden Jr. Now, Golden Exotics Limited has stepped up its corporate social responsibility efforts, investing in healthcare, education, and capacity building projects in its operational communities. Vice President of the company, Olivier Chesang, says premiums from its fair trade certified produce are used to support farmers and fund community development initiatives.
20% maximum of the amounts received from fair trade can go to a bonus for the workers. The rest, the 80%, had to go into projects, building houses, building schools, building houses for the teachers who go to school, buildings and managing roads, providing water. So part with the fair trade funds, and part with the own company's funds, which has an amount fixed every year on its budget to spend on this kind of actions.
President of Golden Exotics Limited, Olivier Chesang, there. Before we go, let's take a look at the commodity market this morning. Crude oil has gone up marginally, selling at $91.39 a barrel. Gold lost $18, is selling this morning at $4,397 an ounce. Cocoa went up by more than $200, is going for $6,069 a ton. On the currency market, the dollar going for 11 cedis 20 pesos. That's what major commercial banks are offering their clients. The euro 13 cedis 11 pesos. The British pound 15 cedis 27 pesos. The forex bureau is quoting the dollar at 12 cedis 30 pesos. More news on our website myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl Kwao. Thanks for listening. The Super Morning Show continues with Winston and the team in his political suit.
Yes. When Akoto Boateng saw me, he asked, "Can you get Galamsey today?" I said, "No, I don't have Galamsey."
Because you always suspect when you're in the suit.
No,
right?
Well, I felt like today, I felt like dressing this way, and so that's it. Sometimes it's what you see that you wear. Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of my kaftans lately. My wife says that if she keeps them there, I have this penchant of repeating them. So they've been. So the one I see,
she's managing what you wear.
Yeah. So the one I see is the one I wear. You understand? So if I go home and I see another one, so there was a time I used to ask my wife to decide, to choose, because she would come and complain. And they are the managers of the home. They manage the home and manage you very well. You understand?
And she's doing a good job at that.
So let's have our inspirational song for today. This year, Victoria Orenze. Jojo chose this one. Let's enjoy.
Thank you, Frank.
And I will enjoy it. Your mouth needs to speak what you want to see. I will enjoy. I will enjoy. See, this is the year that the Lord has made. This year, don't you go higher than me. This year,
Yeah, this year I not go fear. This year we know the fear. And Jojo, this one you've done well. Aaron, okay, Aaron chose this one. Boys no one trouble. Anyway, Joseph Akoto Boateng,
Mr. Winston Melchizedek Kofi Amoah, aka Teacher Kofi.
I don't have any name that is in the Bible.
And I say Bartholomew.
I don't have my late father didn't give any of us Christian names. I don't know why.
Kofi, that's right.
I don't know Bible.
Yeah, I know. But last week flew me and then in Namkro, and I don't know if he's still here.
Yeah, there was some flu around. That's true.
Yes. After COVID, wash hands, wear face mask. What distancing? What did we call it?
Social distance.
Social distancing. We forgot all those things, and the flu is running around, and we are not wearing our face mask. We are not washing our hands. We are not eating well. Suffering that others are also suffering. So let's pay attention to that. But before we get into anything, let me share the fuel tip for the morning. Always park properly before refueling and apply your handbrake. A moving vehicle, even slightly, can create danger for attendants, customers and equipment nearby. Secure your vehicle first. Comac reminds you that safety starts with control.
So we can now learn how to say it right. It's brought to us by Kingdom Books at Kingdom Quality and Affordability are their hallmarks, and Societe Generale Bank Ghana. The future is you.
Something must be done.
You say either, I say either.
First, I'll spell it. ENVELOPE. Now I'll say it. Envelope. Envelope. Not envelope. Envelope. Some people even say envelope, which is a lot worse. But please, let's all agree, going forward, that it's envelope, okay? The word starts with an E, not an O, and I've always wondered where that weird pronunciation I keep hearing comes from. Perhaps it is because envelope comes from the French word enveloppe, which means a wrapper or enclosing cover. Now, it's important to note that envelope is a noun, but there is also the verb envelope, which is spelt ENVELOP, which means to wrap or completely surround. Either way, it is never pronounced with an O sound at the beginning. It is always an E. So it's settled, right? Envelope, not envelope, and certainly not envelope.
And that's how you say it, right? Good morning, Kwaku Asante.
Good morning, Winston.
How you doing?
I'm very fine. Of course, there's a lot to be excited about. You know, like you said at the start of the show, we've been complaining about the Achimota overpass, down there, the very bad nature of the road. Even Kojo Akoto stop using the road. But now, asphalt, they are doing asphalt. It's caused a little traffic there this morning. I suppose by now it's getting worse, but it's for the good of society.
The asphalt as thick as Foster bread.
It's thick. If you look at it, on social media, it's almost 1 meter thick. It's Foster.
Would it have been better for the Urban Roads or Highways Authority to give us a notice so that we don't wake up at dawn to?
It's strange. I got there only to see at the frontage that it's been blocked, and we're using the outbound instead. Those who are joining the La Paz road, and that's what we are using. So those who are also coming also have to stop. So it's caused a little traffic there. But listen,
for something we've complained about for a very long time, if you are going to fix it, it's just nice to tell the people that you've complained about this, we are going to fix it. It's going to cause some small inconvenience. Note it and plan accordingly.
Kojo, this one, me, I excuse them fully. I excuse them because the stress that we've been going on that road and finally getting fixed. I hope they go to Atomic Junction right after this one and fix that one too with proper thick.
You know what our
asphalt.
elders say? If it must be done,
it must be done well. Let me tell you about Societe Generale Ghana. They're telling you that a customer has not paid yet, but the business still has bills to pay. Don't let unpaid invoices slow down your businesses. With Societe Generale Ghana's factoring and invoice discounting solutions, you can get up to 80% of your invoice value upfront while we follow up with your clients for payment on your behalf. That means better cash flows and less time chasing payments. Let's help keeping your business moving. Visit any SG Ghana branch or call 0302214314 today, or visit any Societe Generale Ghana branch or call 0302214314 for more information. Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you.
Now, the Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited Back to School promo is still here. It's still running. It's running till the 30th of September this year. And they are offering you a generous 15% discount on all school items, including pens, pencils, erasers, exercise books, and more. And it's across all branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Takoradi, Winneba, and Cape Coast. You can also shop online. Go to kingdomstoreonline.com to shop. And if you want more information, you call 0302 764 101. Kingdom Books, where quality and affordability are both assured.
Okay, so let's get into the newspaper review now. It's brought to us by Syntex, Tanker, your stronger, your tough, Kill Charcoal Toothpaste, Happy Smile, and Star Your Quality and Affordable Fuel for all.
Let's start with the Economy Times because they are reporting that the cedi has regained value after July setback and reserves hold at $12.9 billion US, and deposit insurance extended to digital deposits such as customers' mobile money balances. Government set to meet its 2.2 fiscal deficit target despite 41% capex shortfall. And on the back page, they have a couple of stories on how the economy is doing. All of that in the Economy Times.
If you go to the Daily Graphic, NPP's regional elections, can the new guard deliver 2028 victory? That's the big question on the front page of the Daily Graphic. And the photos of some of the chairmen are here. Dr. Bernard Okoboy, Greater Accra. Kwame Bafo, a.k.a. Abronye, he retained the Bono Regional Chairmanship position. And Odino Kwapia, a.k.a. Koka, Asante Regional Chairman. More stories from the Daily Graphic. Deploy new approach to flood management. This is the Pro-Vice Chancellor of the University of Ghana speaking. Constitutional reforms referendum to go alongside 2027 Assembly elections. This is President Mahama speaking. And MTN has rewarded the first batch of winners in the MTN at 30 promo.
The Ghanaian Times, FDA flags chemical ripened plantains. And they are probing viral video from Adina Market on that phenomenon. And then capital market players kick against 400% SEC levy hike. Incite violence, face the law. Interior Minister is warning. All of that on the front page of the Ghanaian Times newspaper.
The Chronicle, Galamseyers are operating with impunity under Mahama. Another speaking. NDC Youth Wing calls for stronger action against illegal mining. And Eugene Boateng vows to restore the 5,000 Ghana cedi per constituency stipend if he is voted into office.
The Inside newspaper, amendment of 1992 Constitution, Mahama says Ghana to hold referendum in 2027. Africa must own AI, not just use it. Nyanza Futures 2026 challenges continent to control its data, tech and minerals resources. And IPR celebrates lasting professional legacy. That story is the AES countries rebuke Nigerian president after blaming Sahel states for insecurity. Leave no child behind. Osu Youth Queen Mother unveils educational fund for needy children.
If you go to the BNFT, Jabin Community Bank delivers impressive growth, strengthens capital base and community impact. Tax Justice Coalition demands tax exemptions regime reform, urges government to bridge 81% corporate tax gap. 3-win Toyota Land Cruiser Prados in MTN at 30 promo. And from inflation to consumption, West Africa's FMCG turnaround. There are some more stories from the BNFT. Bull Run is GSC's demutualization window. This is according to the market. And talking about Jabin Community Bank, they've delivered impressive growth. I've seen something online showing the financial performance of cocoa processing company, and it doesn't look good at all.
Let's go online then.
We have
Okay.
the daily guide. Let
Okay.
me give you the daily guide first. The daily guide newspaper this morning. Court halts Edubuahin, ex-NAFCO boss. Court halts Edubuahin, ex-NAFCO boss trials over Supreme Court suits. 2 killed, 7 injured in a Asimfosu crash. Spiritualist nabbed for attempted murder of an 11-year-old girl. And Baumia charges NPP executives to unite for victory 2028. And the 2026-2027 purchasing season, anxiety grips young cocoa farmers. This is from the Daily.
Okay, the business mail, where is the $20 million? The FMECO insists on expert inquiry into AXA deal, highlights of August auction movements. GNPC receives $355 million for first half, and how Ghana turn around its economy. IMF sees strong growth, lower inflation, and fiscal stability. 24-hour economy must go beyond slogans. AGI demands concrete action, and inflation slowed to 4.6% in July this year.
Okay, let's go online now. The online news review brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest.
MyJoyOnline.com, why Yoko, not OSP, is leading AXA bribery probe. That is a Deputy Attorney General explaining. Republic Bank Joint Use Habitat Fair to kick off with mini fair at Chimota Mall on August 21. Ghana rises to 6th largest gold producer globally after record 2025 output. Call off strike, give us 1 month to resolve payment issues. Education Minister appeals to Gawa. An AXA bribery scandal exposes deeper failures in Ghana's procurement system. That is the Minsha South MP speaking.
If you go to citynewsroom.com, there are a lot of stories there as well. Legal vacation, stop using media to challenge judicial decisions. Thaddeus Sorry to lawyers. Government targets 70% 5G population coverage by 2028. Mahama on Galamsey, we will not give up the fight. And Ada Asafutufiami Festival for Ada traditional leaders suspended for defying counsel. AXA bribery scandal, Mahama would not shield anyone. This is Remsai speaking. And fiscal policy uncertainty making mining investments more expensive. This is Ken Ashigbe. You know, Teacher Kofi, the AXA thing, if you read the annual reports of AXA Energy Global on what they said they were doing in Ghana, if you read the Parliament Hansard on the day that project was approved, you read ECG's annual reports, you check Energy Commission's data and all those things, there are a lot of questions left unasked about the AXA deal. If you also dig deep into Wasila Energy, in fact, Wasila Energy is the company that produced the initial generators that AXA set up in Turkey before they decided to relocate those generators to Ghana. So the generators that came from Turkey for the AXA plant, they were not brand new. They had worked for a very long time. And then they were moved here. The capacity that we said we're installing, the capacity for which Parliament approved the project, the capacity that was later installed, and all those things. We need to get deep into this. We need to drill deep into this and have every person who played a role in that project answer questions. And going forward, we should learn from the mistakes we've made in the energy sector. Fixing a power plant is buying a very large generator with all the other logistics and the infrastructure you need to put in place. But sometimes we make it seem like rocket science, and we sign all sorts of deals that put you and I in dire straits. Then a government will come and say, let's pay extra on fuel because we have to pay ECG's debt or pay the energy sector debts for people's decisions that they made that are costing us. So if they say they are going to investigate it, we really need to investigate this and get to the bottom of it.
Good. Let me do this story that I think is very interesting in the Ghanaian Times about how FDA is flagging chemical ripened plantains and probing viral video from Medina Market. It says the Food and Drugs Authority, FDA, has cautioned the public against the indiscriminate use of chemicals to accelerate the ripening of plantains and other fruits and vegetables. The caution follows a viral video purportedly showing the use of chemicals to ripen plantains at the Medina Market. According to the FDA, preliminary findings from the investigation conducted in collaboration with the Environmental Health Unit of the Lanquantanan Medina Municipal Assembly established that the product reportedly used in the viral video was Ethemax, a plant growth regulator considered harmful to human health and public safety. The authority said it had also engaged a trader involved in the sale and distribution of the ripened plantains at the market. In a press statement issued and signed by SCU and copied to the Ghanaian Times yesterday, the FDA said it was taking appropriate regulatory action against those involved in the unauthorized sale, distribution, and use of chemicals based on the preliminary findings of the investigation. This is troubling. I mean, I like Kelewele a lot. So what is to say that the Kelewele have been eating almost every evening? Almost every evening, Kelewele with rice. That is my perfect combination. It's not being artificially ripened. Hey, now even if you want to eat so-called natural food, there's still these things. So you go and buy some fruit. Apparently, it's been ripened artificially. You, the farmers, what is going on, Kojo?
Hey, you've asked a question that we will supply an answer later. Okay, Kwaku. Let's go to the daily graphic. The graphic has a big question. Can the new guard deliver 2028 victory for the NPP? And Albert K. Sally writes that the successful conduct of the new Patriotic Party's regional executive elections marks more than an internal housekeeping exercise. For a party now in opposition, it is the first structural test of its stated ambition to recapture power from the NDC in 2028. And as the 2028 flag bearer, Dr. Baumia, put it, the goal for all of us is to win the 2028 elections. This is just a stepping stone. That's a quote. Now, the party has now completed the polling station, electoral area, constituency and regional elections, and the organization is back in place. The harder question is whether the people now in charge can convert structure into seats.
You see, sometimes it's very, very early. I mean, it's too early now. Opposition parties don't win elections.
The governing party loses.
The governing party would lose the election. Now, I mean, we're going to do something. I'm just going to share something with you. This is in 2016. The NPP's Nana Akufo-Addo had about 5.7 million votes. The NDC's John Mahama about 4.8 million, right?
Yeah.
Let's go to 2012. And I just want to use the 2012 in elections to do this analysis quickly. In 2012, for instance, in the 2012 elections, the NDC's John Mahama had 5.5 million. Watch this carefully. He had 5.5 million, right? And that 5.5 reduced to 4.8. Akufo-Addo had 5.2. It increased to 5.7. What do you see there?
Reduction.
Okay. Let's fast forward it to 2020. That will tell us the story. In the 2020 presidential elections, what did the NPP's Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo get in that election? Because, Asante, you want to give it a try?
I don't remember, but...
Now, in 2020, President Akufo-Addo got 6.7 million votes. And John Dramani Mahama got about 6.2 million votes. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's get to 2024, and you have a clear picture of how elections are won and lost in this country. By 2024, and I'm just trying to get the EC's, as for this one, I want to quote it verbatim. Okay, I have it here. Okay, I have it here. The NDC's John Mahama polled 6,591,000. The NPP's Mahmoud Bawumia, 4,877,000.
Yeah. So while the NPP were declining, the NDC were going up.
And you saw it in 2012, 2016.
Yeah.
So it depends on what the NDC will do. Okay? When political parties do well, the expectation is that the electorate will reward them. If they fail, the electorate will kick them out. So, with the squad that have been elected by the NPP be able to, I think that Asante Man Koka as chairman of the NPP in Ashanti region, would lead the party to perform better than they did in the 2024 elections. But it also depends on how the NDC will perform in Ashanti region. The expectation will be that Okoboy will lead the NPP to do better. And listen to what I said. I said the expectation is that Okoboy will lead the NPP to do better in the Greater Accra region. But that's also dependent on how the NDC performs in government.
Yeah.
If the NDC does well,
a lot of these ones will matter a lot.
It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
If the NDC does well, whatever you promise, people will say, oh, no, they are doing well.
Yeah.
That's when the Twaso can work.
Yeah. The ball is in your court to Mahama and the likes.
And that's it.
Yeah, let me
only be GM Twaso.
No. As for GM Twaso, the constitution
does
not allow it. The constitution does not allow any more GM Twaso. The only GM Twaso that can happen is to go and Twaso with Lodina in the house.
Or Mosquito Twaso.
Maybe.
Or Atoki forcing.
Or Okujita Black or Harun Idris. We'll get to see that. Let me do this quick one. The Republic Bank Joint News Habitat Fair 2026 is set to begin with a 3-day mini fair at the Achimota Mall. It will start from Friday, August 21 to Sunday, August 23. Will offer all of you prospective homeowners an opportunity to explore property deals, engage industry experts, and take steps towards owning your home. Listen, this is the place to be to try and build your home.
So let's go for the BBC News Now, brought to us by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us, Glyco, we cushion you for life. And Bell Malt, shine your greatness. Bell Malt, a new malt experience.
Service, the world's radio station.
Hello, I'm Richard Hollingham, and this is Will Grant.
And welcome to the documentary from the BBC World Service. In the Kansas City cycling revolution, we're returning to the US Midwest city that we last visited 18 years ago.
Once ranked the worst city for cycling in the US, we'll be back on our bikes to find out how it's changed and what other cities around the world can learn.
I think that program in 2008 was really a wake-up call for our community.
That's quite the hell, isn't it?
It was, yeah. It just kind of kept going, didn't it? But you did it.
Today is Bicycle Club. Are you excited?
Yeah!
I think we can't even measure the difference because it means a lot to a lot of different people.
All right, let's go ride bikes. Let's go!
Join us as we cycle Kansas City after the latest BBC News.
BBC News with Emily Thomas. Russian officials say Ukraine has carried out another major attack overnight, targeting the Moscow region. 3 people have reportedly been injured. In Ukraine, Russia attacked several cities, including Kiev, from where Dan Johnson sent this report.
Ukraine's capital endured 4 air raid alerts through the night, but it's not clear yet what, if anything, made it through the city's overstretched air defences. In Zaporizhia, the head of regional government said 2 people had been killed and 4 wounded. 5 people were injured, including a 9-year-old boy, when homes were struck in Izium, close to the front line in the east. Ukraine has continued drone strikes against Russia. Moscow's mayor said 620 targeted the city last night and 180 were shot down. Another warehouse belonging to online retailer Wildberries was reported to be on fire.
Russia has threatened the UK with consequences after Ukraine used British-made drones to strike targets inside Russia for the first time. Damian Grammaticus reports.
Ukraine's campaign of strikes have been ramping up the economic pressure on President Putin and bringing the war closer to ordinary Russians. Russia's embassy in London said by supplying drones used in those attacks, the UK was deliberately opting for escalation, and this action would inevitably carry consequences for which London would have to answer. The Ministry of Defence said Britain stood shoulder to shoulder with Ukraine and was committed to providing the equipment it needed to defend itself against President Putin's illegal invasion.
Zambia's Electoral Commission says President Hakainde Hichilema won last week's elections, securing a second term. International observers have said the vote was marred by intimidation and abductions. Tingandaba Jonah Bayoya reports from Lusaka.
Zambia's Electoral Commission said President Hakainde Hichilema secured over 60% of the vote. His main challenger, Brian Mundubile, received nearly 38%. Mr. Mundubile had claimed victory based on his campaign's parallel count and alleged there were irregularities, including military interference. He also denied government claims linking him to an alleged militia operation involving high-grade weapons, calling them fabrications.
Brazil's president has welcomed the discovery of oil reserves near the Amazon coast, despite opposition to drilling in the area from environmentalists. Luis Inácio Lula da Silva described the find as a passport to the future. Brazil's state-owned energy company Petrobras announced it had detected the reserves off the coast of Amapá state last week. The British government says a vessel leaving the Strait of Hormuz has been struck by an unknown projectile. The UK's Maritime Trade Operations Centre says the vessel sustained damage to its engine room and there was a casualty among the crew. BBC News. South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung has called for stronger independent defence capabilities as part of efforts to reduce the military's reliance on the United States. Late on Sunday, President Trump ordered joint exercises with South Korea to be substantially scaled back, calling them inappropriate and hostile towards North Korea. Scientists have warned that the impact of rising global temperatures on the health of older people has been significantly underestimated. Researchers at Stanford University say previous studies have focused on younger people. Ella Bicknell reports.
The study looked into how different age groups would cope with extreme heat by the year 2100 under different levels of global warming. It found earlier research overlooked that older adults are more vulnerable because they produce less sweat, have weaker hearts, and are more likely to have underlying medical conditions. Researchers also warned highly populated countries with high levels of poverty were most at risk, with India, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Niger identified as particularly vulnerable. They said that extreme heat and an ageing global population could create new humanitarian challenges and drive migration across borders.
There's been a school shooting in the Philippines, the second in 2 months. A student at a high school in the southern city of Zamboanga killed another pupil before turning a gun on himself. In June, at least 3 students were killed and around 20 others injured when 2 students opened fire at a school in Tacloban City. The Chinese government has been censoring social media posts about the former premier Zhu Rongji as his funeral and cremation take place in Beijing. Flags have been lowered at government buildings for Mr. Zhu, who died last week, aged 97. Tributes online to his economic reforms have prompted some criticism of President Xi Jinping's government, which has overseen slower economic growth. BBC News.
I don't want to stress. And you are wondering why is he even saying court 1 and 2 and not all the courts that are working during the vacation.
And for the purpose of my audience, this is Kojo Nkrumah.
Yes, Kojo
versus yourself as the Chief Justice in the matter of the debate around the legal vacation.
Exactly. So the concern of the plaintiff, Kojo Nkrumah, is that the CJ's warrant for judges to sit and conduct cases over the vacation is unconstitutional. That's the substance of his case. There are about almost 30 judges or 30 courts sitting. So why single out only 2? And I think that is as a result of bad faith. You see, you don't use the law or the legal process to achieve another purpose than what it's designed for. So the fact that you have chosen even 2, instead of all the courts that are working with the warrant, tells me that you have an, I won't call it ulterior motive, but you have an auxiliary purpose that you want to achieve, but you are just using the court process to achieve that.
But you see the court's point in this matter. I mean, the Supreme Court is the apex court. If they're going to decide on whether or not he can sit, because that's basically is the decision the Supreme Court will have to render. He will just have to wait. I mean, a few more days. It makes sense, does it not? That just simply to wait.
Like I said, the decision of the judge is not out of the law. It's within law, right? But it's also policy-based in the sense that tomorrow, that's the danger in these things. That is why if you were in the court, you realize that I cited about 4 or 5 cases where the court said that when public authorities are performing their function, it is not a private issue. So the courts distinguish between 2 private persons, fighting in court and one getting an injunction, from where the public authority is working for the general good of the country, and then one person goes to court to say that I disagree with this, and then the person applies for injunction and expect that the whole public, what is being done for the whole public, should stop pending the decision of the court. So the courts have consistently held a view that this is not applicable, this principle is not applicable when it comes to public law matters, because the public law matters affect the whole country. So one person cannot come and say he's filing an injunction and then the whole public has to wait. Even in the recent case of against the District Assembly Common Fund, the same principle was established again. So the courts always draw a line between private matters and then public law matters. And in public law matters, the position has been that an application for an injunction does not stop a public office or public official from functioning pending the determination of the injunction itself.
How confident are you that the Supreme Court will render a verdict that, in essence, agrees with your fundamental position that the CJ was within its right, legally, procedurally, all the other rules that govern the court to set up the courts to hear these cases?
Yeah, so this is the thing. The challenge is, the plaintiffs or GBA and the other persons, what they are saying is that the Chief Justice doesn't have the power to issue warrants for judges to sit. And in making that case, and I think they also know that that position is not tenable. So they color the conversation or they are concerned by saying that it is selective justice. And then they threw in an allegation that the Chief Justice gave a warrant to the judges to hear specific cases, which suggests that the Chief Justice identified some cases and said, when it comes to this particular case,
the Dubois,
and they said that when it comes to these cases, do hearing. But that is not what the warrant says. And I think your station has
we saw that warrant that boldly said hearings, simple hearings.
So it is not true. So there's a bit of untruth in there, and it's also repeated on their rates that selected cases or special criminal cases, but there's nothing like that in the warrant. I am looking forward to the Supreme Court making a pronouncement, and I'm also looking forward to them to show how they came to the conclusion that the Chief Justice selected some cases and asked the judges to hear that. And you see, when we do some of these things, even as lawyers, okay, when lawyers speak, the public trusts that what they are saying is true. And that is why most of the times the people take the word of a lawyer very seriously. So when a lawyer comes out to make an allegation as serious as this against the Chief Justice, saying that he has selected some cases and are giving them to some selected judges to continue hearing, when indeed that is not the case, it disturbs the public trust in not just the lawyers, but also the judiciary. And so I find it quite strange that this is being championed by lawyers. Now, when it comes to legal vacation, I've already said that it is only for judges in the Superior Court to go on vacation. And it has always been the tradition that even during legal vacation, they select vacation judges who sit and hear matters. Now, there's this argument that vacation judges only hear motions and not conduct proper hearings or trial.
Well, the GBA says they never hear trials.
Which is completely false. Because this is how it works. A vacation judge is also a judge who is entitled to his vacation. So when he works in the vacation, what he does is that just as the courts come back, then he proceeds on his vacation. Now, if you follow this alleged interpretation or understanding of the GBA, you would notice that is not, it cannot even be workable. It's not even workable that sense, because if you are a judge, you have your own cases. A vacation judge does his own cases. Okay, he runs his own court. Then, in addition to that, the Chief Justice assign other cases from other courts, other courts' cases to him. So I'm vacation court judge sitting in court A. Because there are other matters that may be urgent in court B, C, and D, the Chief Justice often attaches other courts to vacation court A. It is only when those other cases come that the vacation judge will not hear the merits and will conduct only the motions and the urgent matters. But when it comes to his own court, he hears not just the motion, but he hears the merits of the case because he knows that he will also be going on vacation. So if you apply the GBA interpretation, what it means is that then this judge will not be able to hear any case until January next year. Because then when the others come, he goes on vacation and another judge cannot hear his cases. So it's bizarre. And I think for now, there's ample evidence, even from the media. Journalists have been able to pull out several cases, instances where courts have conducted trial, superior courts have conducted trial during the legal vacation. So one of our attorneys just, we're going through our files, they reminded us that even the Takrady girls case said it was conducted during the legal vacation. I didn't even know. It was conducted during the legal vacation, even amid protests from defense counsel. So it is also not true that before a judge will conduct a case during the vacation, the lawyers must agree. What it means is that now lawyers are deciding how cases should be conducted, which is never the essence of establishing a judiciary. Because for every case, one party wants it fast, while the other wants it slow. Because the interests of lawyers never merge. That is why we need a judge to balance the interests and give us where justice will be. The FBI is done through that Office of Attorney General. And it's not only OSP that has collaborated with the FBI on this matter. As Yogu said, they've also collaborated. And it's also not true that it is just about bribery and corruption. It's also about money laundering. So there are other offenses involved in it that do not necessarily fall within the mandate of OSP, but which falls within the mandate of Yoku. So all these nuances must be resolved. So it is not a question of, I want to do it. Yes, you want to do it, but who has the mandate to do what ought to be done? It could be that they can collaborate. It could also be that BNI would take over the whole thing. It could also be that the police would have done their work. So it is not a question of, and it shouldn't be turf war, because the essence of all these agencies is to fight corruption and to make sure that crime does not survive in glory.
You pulled up at the fuel station today. You looked at the price. There's something in you just... How did we get here? In early 2026, petrol dropped below 10 cedis a litre. For the first time in nearly a decade, people were celebrating at the pump. Then April came, then August came, and just this week, pump prices were pushing towards 20 Ghana cedis a litre. What happened? Who is responsible? And why, no matter who is in power, does fuel always seem to go up but never quite come back down? Today, we're breaking down Ghana's fuel price story, why prices went up, why the relief didn't last, and the part of your fuel bill that has nothing to do with the actual cost of fuel. This has no jargon, no politics, just fact as plainly as we can give them to you. Let's get right into it. I'm Jacqueline Asumaya, and this is Joy News Explains. Before we talk about what happened, let's understand something most people don't know. Now,
glue. Okay. Asante.
Yeah.
Well, you know that Kojo Boateng is a DJ.
Kojo.
He's a DJ. You don't know X-ray DJ.
Hey, you don't know.
X-ray DJ. But George Kwaku calls him DJ Agric.
DJ Agric.
Oh, he was a DJ. Oh, way back.
Oh, wow, he used to play shows and all the nightclubs and all this. Hey, Kojo Boateng.
Oh yeah.
DJ X-ray.
Yeah.
Na X-ray is uko file in Kojo Boateng.
Yeah. Also, nyafi be interview. We have more information. You more information kaka. We a friend is an interview. We show me what it. Around here. Asante. But this morning, guys, I don't know whether you've seen that viral notice from the police that says that if you have AirPods and if you use AirPods and all of those things, you're going to be arrested. It was led to a lot of conversation here and there. Okay, we've decided to check with the police. Okay, and so very soon we'll be getting to speak to the Ghana Police Service. Yes, you say no AirPods or earphones while riding or driving the first thing I said was, this can't be from the Ghana Police Service. Well, let's find out. The Ghana Police Service wishes to inform the general public, especially all motor riders and drivers, that the use of AirPods, earphones, or any form of audio devices while riding or driving is strictly prohibited. This directive is part of ongoing efforts to reduce road accidents and improve safety across the country. Any individual found violating this directive will be arrested and prosecuted in accordance with laws of Ghana. Offenders may face a custodial sentence of up to 2 years upon conviction. The Ghana Police Service further emphasizes that offenders may be detained and processed for court as required by law. All road users are therefore advised to comply fully with this directive to avoid legal consequences. Stay alert, stay safe, obey road traffic regulations. Signed, Public Affairs Directorate of the Ghana Police Service. So, this became very, very viral, went around, people talked about it. Well, this morning, we want to find out from the police whether this is indeed the case. And ACP Alexander Obing has joined us this morning. ACP, good morning.
Bro, good morning.
I believe you are doing very well. So I've just read the statement, and the simple question: you are Director of Education, Research and Training at the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service. Is this from the police?
There are two police issued one, and earlier there was a very untrue, fake information that was issued by some miscreants. So I don't know the one you are referring to.
Okay, so let me just read the one that I'm referring to you, okay? The one that says no AirPods or earphones while riding or driving. The Ghana Police Service wishes to inform the general public, especially all motor riders and drivers, that the use of AirPods, earphones, or any form of audio devices while riding or driving is strictly prohibited. This directive is part of ongoing efforts to reduce road accidents and improve safety across the country. Any individual found violating this directive will be arrested and prosecuted in accordance with the laws of Ghana. Offenders may face a custodial sentence of up to 2 years upon conviction, and the Ghana Police Service further emphasizes that offenders may be detained and processed for court as required by law. Is this from you?
Yes, one of the heading, police urge public to disregard that false publication that went up. It says police urge public to disregard false flyer on use of AirPods and earphones while driving. If that is what we are discussing, then that one is coming from Public Affairs.
So what is coming from the Public Affairs Department is that what I read is fake.
It's a fake one, yes? Yeah. And I'm saying that police has come out with a release to clarify. And the publication was based on the Road Traffic Regulation 26, LI 2519, and specifically with the subheading Prohibition on the Use of Communication Device while Driving, Regulation 132. And I want to emphasize what the regulation says. It says that a person shall not drive a motor vehicle on a road or in any public place while driving, using or operating a cellular or mobile telephone or any other communication device in one or both hands. That is the procedure and the posture of every driver trained and issued with a Ghana driver's license is supposed to do. In other words, no person is expected to be driving with a communication device in one or his or her both hands on our road because it distracts. Why? Because the principle upon which a license was issued for any driver in Ghana was that he had or she had his or her hands on the steering, and the only time one of the hands, particularly the right, was off the steering is when he was changing gear.
Okay.
And therefore, no person is supposed to drive with any communication device in at least even one of his or her hands. That is dangerous.
But ACP, quick question on this. So what if, for instance, I'm doing hands-free or it's connected to the Bluetooth in my car, and so I don't have to touch the phone, I just press and I continue driving?
I quickly read out what the substantive law is and how we are supposed to behave behind steering wheels as drivers. That at all times, both hands should be on the steering, and your eyes should include on the road through the windscreen, so that you drive undistracted. And therefore, the law prohibits having a communication device in your hand, one, and at the same time your hand operating, and operating may include testing and receiving messages and reading them among others. So it didn't talk about those hands-free things. You see, hands-free. In other words, now, if immediately you go on hands-free, then you are talking about freedom of speech. So in road traffic legislation, that is not in our regulation, because while driving, there might be passengers by you and you may be interacting with them verbally, among others. So, and people may have other technologies in their vehicle that allow them to interact without touching anything, but you verbally be engaging. Those ones, that's not what the airline 2519 talked about. It prohibited using your hand in fidgeting with phone and other communication device while driving, because one hand off the steering can pose danger to public safety and health.
Even though some would argue that using these Bluetooth, using Bluetooth could also distract you, because yes, you are engaging somebody while driving. You would agree?
Well, I'm saying that it is not in our regulation, because in this regulation I'm talking about, the emphasis, the ingredient of offense, the ingredient of distraction is when the communication device is in one or both hands while driving.
Sure.
Please, that's the emphasis. Therefore, it's not the case that when you are driving and you are talking, police will stop you. That why are you talking? Why are you talking?
Okay, I get it.
So on this one, I want to use this opportunity to inform all stakeholders, drivers, vehicle owners, including absentee owners, journalists, road safety advocates, driving instructors, proprietors of driving schools, and plethora of critical stakeholders, including traffic operators, that the Road Traffic Regulation 2026, LI 2519, has come into force. And therefore, the 2180 of 2012 LI has been revoked. Therefore, all of them must keep to Assembly Press, have copies, and inculcate the content in those who are handling our vehicles through training, capacity building, awareness creation, public sensitization.
ACP, hold on. Before you continue, in this era of digitalization, digital era, why do I have to go to Assembly Press? It should be online. When I come to the police website, I should be able to quickly download it and read it.
I believe that the publisher of government document is the Assembly representative. So I can't go beyond that.
Okay.
So but it is there. And we are all aware that's where we get it.
Quick question. Yes, quick question.
Go for it and read.
Quick question, ACP Alexander Obeng. Now, someone says, what if you are driving and eating Kofi Brookman?
Please, what I'm just saying is very simple. The emphasis is on prohibition on use of communication device while driving. And you see, when it comes to communication, is different from, for example, you are on your road and individual you are driving and you want to freshen up. That is quite different from when you are interacting. And first of all, interaction comes with so many trauma and other psychological dynamics. But when it comes to, and in addition, when physically your hand is off the steering wheel, see, the issue is this, that in driving in Ghana, this is the posture in the regulation. It says that at all times that we are driving, we should have full control of the vehicle. Having full control of the vehicle includes having both hands on the steering. And driving, in driving didactics, we say driving with both hands is 10 to 2. Apart from that, your eyes should have full visibility of traffic through the windscreen and the driving mirror. And under no circumstance should one of your hands or both be off the steering. And that we have observed in best because of the evolution of technology. One device or right that people want to exercise that may take their hands off the steering wheel is the communication devices. And therefore, the law prohibits that at all times your both hands should be glued to the steering, grip it, full grip, and drive and control the vehicle. And that is the essence. The only time your hands, one hand should be off the steering is when you are driving. Driving means that you want to engage the clutch and the gear. That one, you bring one hand, and in Ghana, you drive on the right hand drive. So you take your right hand off the steering. You have take the then you engage the clutch and then the gear, and then you come back with your hand on the steering. That is it. So that you will always be in view. You will have control over the 3-second rule, and you will not take it. You will not go and hit rear end, and you protect pedestrians among others. Otherwise, you will be distracted. So this principle, which has been embedded in our road traffic regulation 2026 in regulation 132, is for strict compliance. Otherwise, police ingredient of having driven distracted while using communication device is when your hand is holding any interactive or communication
Understood.
device. In that case, when you gather evidence and you proceed to court and you are convicted successfully, the court will impose a fine of no more than 600 Ghana cedis, 50 penalties, or custodial sentence of no more than 3 months or both. That is our standard.
Sure, ACP, but quick one, final one here. Now, is it also the case that as part of the new LI 2519, a person stopped by police may record the encounter and the recording can serve as court evidence?
Obviously, the new road traffic regulation has the intention of digitalizing many of the traffic services that duty bearers deliver in Ghana, including Ghana Police Service, Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, National Road Safety Authority, National Insurance Commission, among other people of entities that are delivering services that are guided by the road traffic regulation. And in it, one area that Ghana is expecting Ghana Police Service to shift to deliver services enforcement on the road. And therefore, in this regulation, there are about 49 or so offenses that are headed automated traffic offenses, where police is required under regulation 242 to come up with an automated system and app that will run on police technology. That will allow police to gather evidence or events using ICT devices, including cameras, scanners, and then others that will assist us to gather evidence. And when in the process of gathering the evidence, police may be holding handheld devices to interact first with the offender that might have unlawfully parked, and the request for the driver to produce his or her license, for example, and production of license requires that the person will tell the police officer or mention his license number or in case he has it, our device may interact or will card read the license, and the process of engaging, the law is required there that whilst police is interacting and engaging and gathering this vital evidence and information to process electronic notice of violation, the suspect also has the right at the same time to also record this interaction. And that was embedded this regulation, yes.
Okay, thank you very, very much, ACP Alexander Obing, for joining us this morning. So, ACP Alexander Obing, he is in charge of education, research and training at the Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service. So, folks, the police says you should disregard that. However, you cannot drive with any, electronic device or communication device, okay, in one hand, because the expectation is that you drive with both hands on the steering wheel. So, folks, just take notes.
Never driven.
So live here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. But hear this, your phone buzzes and you realize Cowbank has just credited your account with 5,000 Ghana cedis, just like that. You're literally screaming Abakede in the middle of wherever you are. And that is exactly what is happening right now with the Cowbank Abakede promo. Here's all you have to do: deposit 500 Ghana cedis or more into your Cowbank account and stay fully active every month. 5 lucky winners take home 5,000 Ghana cedis cash, and at the grand draw, one fully active Cowbank customer walks away with 100,000. The best part is, the more you deposit, the better your chances of winning. You can deposit straight from your Cowbank app or your USSD via mobile money at any Cowbank branch or agent near you. You can also use any of the cash accepting ATMs. Honestly, there's no excuse. Do not sleep on this one. Move money into your Cowbank account right now and you could win big in the Abakede promo. The Cowbank Abakede promo runs from now to the end of October 2026. Cowbank Forward Together. Terms and conditions apply. This one is regulated by NLA on the Caritas platform.
We don't talk enough about how stressful it can be to figuring out what nourishing breakfast to give the kids every morning. That's why Milo All-in-One is such a great option. It has a creamy, delicious taste kids can't have enough of. But there's more to Milo All-in-One than that rich, milky, chocolatey taste. There's so much goodness in every pack. Just take a moment to read the back pack and see for yourself its important nutrients combined with malt that supports energy release, cocoa for that rich taste, and milk for calcium to support them as they grow. So keep choosing Milo All-in-One, not just for that special taste, but also for the nourishing goodness. Milo, energy to go further.
And if you're looking for a multifunctional photocopier, I don't need to buy it. You can lease it from Valex Lease Equip Limited. It's a wholly owned Ghanaian company that ensures that you get printers and printing services across the whole country. Now you can lease and pay as you copy and print, or design your own payment plan and lease an A4, A3 heavy-duty MFP with sorter, stapler, finisher, production machine with sorter, stapler, finisher, and you enjoy free toners, cartridges, free repairs, free maintenance, follow me printing, centralized monitoring of all staff, and nationwide coverage. So visit their website valexlease.com or you call them on 0244 644048. Valex Lease, affordable document management solutions.
And Omni Basic Bank has a quick question for you. Would you leave your front door wide open before going to bed? Of course not. So why give away your PIN or one-time password OTP? These details are private and for your eyes only. Remember, do not disclose your PIN or OTP. If anyone asks for them, that's a red flag. Avoid clicking suspicious links, and in case of any doubt, always pause, think, and verify. Shine your eyes and protect your accounts. Spot the fraud, stop the fraud. For assistance, call 0307 086,000. Omni Basic Bank, not just another bank.
Cars Christian Boarding School is calling career parents. Let's be honest with each other. You leave at home at 5 o'clock, the traffic, the meetings, one more call before you go. You get back at 8, tired, and you still want your child taught well, fed well, and prayed over. That's a lot to carry alone. We've come to help career parents. We take a child from 2 years right through JHS, small classes, proper meals, homework supervised, and devotion every day in a safe, Christ-centered home at Nsawam Akwemu. Admissions are ongoing. For more information, visit our website at www.caschristian.com or call us on 0557 059214 or 0557 059215. Cass Christian Boarding School, a caring home away from home.
I heard you mention traffic there when you were talking about parents waking up early and taking their kids to school.
That thing must stop. It was 4:30 a.m. They are taking the kids to school.
I used to teach Akofis Road, the Panta Road. I didn't know they've scraped off the asphalt.
Oh.
They scraped it off your Panta Road.
Panta, yes.
The one that the Panta Junction, before you get to
they're working on it.
The junction, Panta Junction.
Yes, to teach Akofis area. But I have some good news. Over the weekend, I saw that the Dodoa bound side of some sections of the Adenta Dodoa Road
it's been asphalted.
Chale, the action giddy. So I'm happy.
Yes,
I'm happy. Yes. But let me tell you about enterprise insurance. You know, when you are involved in a crash or when you have issues on the road, it gives you a lot of anxiety and stress. And we always say entowada. But enterprise is telling you that say tuwada because they will always cover you, whether it's your car, your home, your travel or business. Enterprise gives you the confidence to face life's uncertainties, knowing they will be there for you when you need them most. So don't wait until it's too late. Get insured today on the Enterprise Advantage app, or you call or WhatsApp 053-970-0109. Enterprise Insurance, your advantage.
Well, Ghana, let's talk water tanks now. And I'm sure by now you know the secret to real water storage. It's simple. If your tank doesn't have the tortoise on it, then you know that's not the correct tank because the tortoise tank, Syntex tank, is the champion of water tanks, strong, durable, and built to handle our Ghanaian weather. Rain or shine, Syntex tank has your back. So my people, go outside, check your tank, and if it doesn't have the tortoise on it, then you know it's time to upgrade. Join the Syntex family today and enjoy water storage that's tough like a tortoise. Call 0244-335-168 to buy now. Find one of our foreign agents nationwide. You can also shop online at syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, strong, tough.
Have you heard about the incredible benefits of Exilium from Total Energies? Let me tell you more about this premium fuel with its amazing 3-in-1 power. Total Energies introduces Exilium new formula, the additive enriched fuel with its powerful 3-in-1 action that cleans your engine, extends its life, and lowers your fuel consumption. Thanks to the cumulative effect of its anti-corrosion, anti-wear and detergent additives, Exilium new formula also lowers your vehicle's fuel consumption while reducing carbon dioxide emissions. You will drive, sir. Experience the new formula with Total Energies Exilium new formula. Choose Exilium, choose quality.
And something big is coming up in the north in Savulugu. The Ghana Exim Bank and North Shore Apparel Ghana Limited proudly present the official opening of the Phase 1 of the North Shore Apparel Hub, a wholly Ghanaian-owned apparel manufacturing enterprise operating within the 24-hour economy initiative, and it's located at Savulugu. It's funded by the Ghana Exim Bank and other partners, and the North Shore Apparel Hub will officially open on Friday, 28th of August 2026. It's creating 3,000 jobs upon commissioning and up to 10,000 jobs at full operation. And His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama will perform the official opening. He'll be assisted by the Minister for Trade and Agribusiness and Industry, Honorable Elizabeth Ofosu Ejare, and the Chief Executive of the Ghana Exim Bank, Sylvester Adinam Mensah. The date is Friday, 28th August 2026. Time is 12 noon, and the venue is the North Shore Apparel Hub, Savulugu, near Tamale in the northern region.
And the Chartered Institute of Taxation Ghana invites you to the 2026 Annual International Tax Conference scheduled for Wednesday 19th to Friday the 21st of August 2026 at the Lisa Hotel in Accra. A special guest of honor is the Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyemang. Theme is Tax Reforms in Practice, Implication for Business and Tax Administration. Theme presenter is Professor Robert Dakonse of the University of Ghana. For registration, call 0206-667888 or 0540150810.
Let me tell you about Bell Malt Non-Alcoholic Malt Drink. The original is back, reloaded, and with bang, bringing you an enjoyable malt refreshment every day Its taste has been reimagined to be smoother, creamier, and more refreshing than ever before. Carefully crafted with quality ingredients, the new Bell malt is made for everyone who celebrates their greatness every day. Whether you're at work, at home, spending time with the family and friends, or simply taking a well-deserved break, the new Bell Malt non-alcoholic malt drink original is a refreshing companion for every occasion. Enjoy the rich malt taste and enjoy every moment that is worth celebrating. Join the movement. Visit your nearest store to experience the new Bell Malt and share the Bell moments on Instagram and TikTok at Bell Beverages GH. For bulk orders or inquiries, contact 0544 335900 or 0544 335800. Bell Malt, shine your greatness. Bell Malt, a new malt experience. And this advert is at BF.
The quick fix loan from Bank of Africa is still running. And you have till the end of October to benefit from the quick fix loan. You enjoy short-term loans at very slim rates, and it's going to salaried workers. Now, Bank of Africa understands that you have urgent needs to sort out. That's why they give you that quick turnaround time on the quick fix loan. So whether it's school fees, prospectus, car maintenance, or that much deserved family vacation, Bank of Africa will sort you out fast. Visit the nearest branch or chat Fafa at boaghana.com to sign up. You may also WhatsApp 0244 338 226 for enquiries. Terms and conditions apply. Sometimes all you need is a quick fix. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner.
Let's get interactive this morning on the Super Morning Show. Join us on X. Use the hashtag JoySMS. Then on WhatsApp 055-1111-997. But if you do business with China, you know that making payment isn't always straightforward. For businesses, it often means sourcing US dollars, absorbing multiple currency conversion costs, and waiting for days for suppliers to receive payment. For importers, every delay can hold up shipments and slow down sales. And for individuals paying school fees, medical expenses, or supporting loved ones in China, the process can be longer and more complicated than it needs to be. Stanbic Bank, in partnership with the Industrial Commercial Bank of China, has introduced CIPS, CIPS, a faster, secure, and direct way to make payments to China. With CIPS, you can pay in Ghana cedis while the recipients collect in Chinese yuan directly. This way, you save money and time. Trade with China, pay directly. Visit your nearest Stanbic Bank branch or speak to your relationship manager today. Talk to Stanbic Bank on 0302 815 789. Stay with us. We'll return with sports and birthday messages after these.
When you stand at a pump and pay 14, 15, 16 Ghana cedis, where does that money actually go to? Because here's the thing, a big chunk of what you are paying has nothing to do with the actual fuel. Let me bring in Jason of our research desk to break this down, because once you understand how fuel is priced, everything else makes sense.
Okay, so forget fuel for a second and imagine pure water. You know how pure water sachets work, right? The factory makes the water, but by the time it gets to you, there's the distributor who has transported it, the wholesaler who sorted it, the chilled water seller on the road who kept it cold. So by the time you buy that one sachet, you've paid for a lot more than just the water. Fuel works in the same way. The price you pay at the pump is made up of several layers. First, the actual cost of the crude oil. That one is set by the global market. Ghana doesn't control that. Then on top of that, distribution costs, margins for the fuel companies, and the price the regulator, which is NPA, sets as the minimum price floor. And then on top of all that, the taxes and levies. Now, these taxes are not small. Depending on which analysis you read, taxes and levies alone make up between 26 and 40% of everything you pay at the pump. Some estimates put taxes, levies, and margins together at nearly 50% of your pump price. So on some estimates, what that means is that roughly half of what you hand over at the pump never had anything to do with the actual cost of the fuel.
So what are these taxes? Let me read you the list because you deserve to know what you are paying for. The first one is the energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy. You also have the price stabilization and recovery levy. There's sanitation and pollution levy that we spoke about in our previous episode. There's a road fund levy, energy fund levy, special petroleum tax, bust margin, unified petroleum price fund margin, then among others. That is not a typo or something we might have missed. there are that many levies sitting on top of every liter of fuel you buy. Some of these were designed for good reasons, to fix roads, to clean up pollution, to build an energy fund for the sector. But they add up, and they've been sitting there through administration after administration, largely untouched. At least that is what we know for now. Here's where the story gets interesting, because these levies were supposed to be cut or at least adjusted. That was the promise. During the 2024 general election campaign, fuel prices were one of the biggest issues. The argument was simple: too many taxes on fuel, prices were too high, ordinary Ghanaians were suffering. Relief was promised. And early in 2026, there was real relief. Petrol dropped below 10 cedis a litre. That hadn't happened in nearly a decade. A combination of things made that possible: a stronger cedi, softer global crude prices, and fierce competition between four companies at the pump. People were genuinely happy. Then came April 2026. Tensions in the Middle East escalated. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical shipping route for global oil, was closed. Crude prices shot up past $85 a barrel, at times above 100. In April, the MPA raised its price floors. Petrol went up about 15% overnight. Diesel went up about 19%. By August, the floors went up again. Petrol up more than 9%, diesel up a steep 18%. And when fuel companies added their own margins, pump prices were pushing towards 20 Ghana cedis. The government's response: emergency directive. On August 4th, 2026, which was just last week, we had a 2 cedi per litre cut on diesel, not by removing any tax, but by trimming the margin. That is the regulatory slice that fuel companies take. And it wasn't the first time. That exact same tool was used in April. Now, in the middle of all this, something interesting happened at the fuel station level. You might have noticed earlier this year that Gold and Star Oil were cut.
Was by MTN. Everywhere you go, Bank of Africa and the Ghana Association of Banks say, shine your eye. If you don't share it, they can't have it. Spot the fraud, stop the fraud. Franco Trading Enterprise, steal. Phone, Papa.
Yes, a quick birthday to Edith ACBS, one of the very good friends I made in law school. In fact, without the materials she was sending me, Charlie, happy birthday to her.
Let's get into the sports center. And it's proudly brought to us.
But you are forcing me out for Achu, who is not even married, to come and sit down and say
you are married.
But Achu is older than me by almost 50
Let's get into the sports center. Achu, when is your time? You respond to him. Let's get into the sports center now. It's brought to us by
MTN.
Switch to MTN's eSIM. Download my MTN app to go seamless today. Standard Chartered Bank, here for good. DSTV, your home of entertainment and high sense everyday prices for everyday people.
Attention, online drivers, taxi drivers, and Pragya operators. Don't just complete trips and rewards along the way. With a Momo merchant account, passengers can now pay by scanning your GHQR code via the Momo app or by using your merchant ID. Every eligible transaction brings you closer to exciting weekly and monthly rewards. Visit any MTN branch nationwide with your registered business certificate to register for a Momo merchant account and enjoy convenience and security for your business funds. This campaign is in partnership with GHQR, powered by Gibbs. Terms and conditions apply.
And for over 130 years, Standard Chartered has been more than a bank. They've been a partner in progress, and they're helping generations grow and protect their wealth. And they're also empowering businesses with innovation. They're helping communities thrive. And they're standing on the 130 years of heritage to power your ambitions and unlock opportunities for you. It's 130 years of expertise to drive cross-border connections that move businesses forward, support your financial and wealth aspirations, and to sustainably impact communities. As always, we believe we can achieve more by partnering together. Standard Chartered, here for good. Achu, where are you?
Yeah.
Don't mind Kuku.
And I'm fabulous.
Don't
and
mind
I'm excited about Saturday, August 20th.
Yes,
that's for Kuku. See, there's only one thing that will make us forgive Kuku. And there is time for him to do that, which is the friends in Parliament who he's inviting to come and register their companies for the Joy Sport Invitational. You gave me a list the last time. Kuku says he's preparing the list and Max Fuga will have it. No problem. By end of business today, we have to see where that list is. You see, we have to see that list. So he still is in the grace period. But this morning, welcome aboard to the Joy Sports Center. My name is Victor Achutamaklu. Max Foga is here to start off the show for us because some of the names we're seeing are getting interesting and some of the stuff people are saying. Yesterday, I was watching Lantam. Lantam used to be a reporter not long ago.
Yes.
So he's now running his
even a morning
Ghana
show presenter at a point.
Yeah.
Now a very big person
Big
at Ghana Publishing.
Yeah. And he's running his mouth.
Oh, yes.
But there are those who have been at the Invitational and actually excelled.
Oh, yes.
Like the luckiest.
Yes.
Who yesterday proudly agreed to headline this year's event as the sponsors.
Yeah.
Tell me about that conversation and why an organization like Luckiest, for example, will decide that beyond coming to participate, paying the registration fees and all of that, they want to be front and center. What are you giving them?
Yeah, first of all, let me say good morning to Dennis, the CEO of the Luckiest. This year, this year's edition for me is the luckiest of all the Joy Sports Invitational. It's all the luckiest of all the Joy Sports Invitational. Nice. Because this year we receive a sponsorship from the Luckiest, and they are the lead sponsors for this year's event. And for me in particular, and as a business, this particular sponsorship is going to help us to improve and enhance our offerings for the day. Right.
We're going to do more of the disciplines because of the sponsorship. In the past, we were constrained by logistics and by finance, but this one is going to open the door for us to increase the disciplines and also offer, enhance the prizes we are going to give out on that day. Don't forget, he's also the defending champion for the men's, the CEO's penalty kicks. He's assured me that he's going to excel this year. We're waiting to see. But
he's the defending champion, so he's allowed to brag.
He's allowed to brag. Yes. Yeah, let's see. He said he's going to train it. I met him at the golf course. How can you be training at the golf course
for a penalty
shootout? But the good thing is that Luckiest is going to make it possible for us to enhance the prizes. And so, besides the trophies that we used to give, this year we also, multimedia is also going to enhance the airtime that's available for all participating teams and all the winners of the various disciplines.
To advertise their products.
Yeah, to advertise their products. Again, Luckiest is going to sponsor the ultimate prizes. So we're going to have the electronic gadgets, electrical gadgets, a lot of things begin our way, both for individuals and for organizations. So this year, like I said, is the Luckiest. And then we wish all the participants the best of luck come August 29th.
Just before you run away, last year there was something beautiful that we did. We created a stand for the kids that came so that while parents were watching the swimming and the football and all of that, the kids could also have a bit of fun. Are we repeating that this year?
Oh, yes, we are repeating the kids' corner. And again, we are managing the vendors better this year.
Right.
So we're going to demarcate a place for sponsors. We are putting a lot of premium on the experience for our sponsors this year. And so they're going to have a special place where they will display their products. And then the food vendors, we've created a food village where people who want to bring food or who want to go and buy food, if they don't bring their own food, they can go there and buy their food and have the experience. And then the kids canal is there. I mean, if you can bring your family, we're going to make sure that we have volunteers that will take care of them. So it's going to be a better experience than last year.
Wonderful. And we're set to have another family day at the Joy Sports Invitational. So don't leave the kids at home. Don't bother about going to pay for a nanny for that day because it's a whole day affair. And we will have special caretakers there at the Kids Corner at the University of Ghana Stadium, August 29 for the Joy Sports Invitational. Well, yesterday, my colleague Muftar Nabila Abdullah spent some time at the Ghana Publishing Company.
You are shaking in our presence because our aura is overwhelming you because of just how prepared you are. Let me tell you something. Yesterday I had a conversation with Michael Carrick. You see what Michael Carrick was able to do with Manchester United after Amorim left. You see, that same energy, you can already feel the aura. We are coming with full vim and vigor. You know that Ghana Publishing Company Limited works 24 hours, right? So our training is 24/7. Some are going, some are coming. So every discipline, from soccer boys, track and field, all the track and field. You know me, I was a sprinter, so you see me on the track on that particular day.
What makes Ghana Publishing Company Limited
stand tall among the publishing institutions in this country?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, we are an organization that was one of the very first to start operating 24 hours under the 24-hour economy policy of the government. And so that brings our efficiency to an optimal level, right? So if you have a job with us that you want us to do for you, there are no delays. What we are focused on is making sure that, number one, we are delivering to you on time. Number two, we are giving you the utmost quality that you don't even have any cause to complain about the work that we are doing for you.
Well, that's what happened when my colleague Muftau Nabila Abdullahi was at the Ghana Publishing Company's offices. Well, as we said yesterday, the luckiest, they are the headline sponsors of the 2026 Joy Sports Invitational Tournament, and that's set to take the experience to a whole new level. Well, you can also sign up, walk into the front desk of Joy FM or call Slevin on 0242 376 445, or simply send a WhatsApp message to that number and Slevin will take over from there. Moving on, Ghana's under-20 women's national team, the Black Princesses, they've arrived in Poland to continue preparations for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. The 17-player contingent is led by head coach Charles Sampson, with the remaining players expected to join later this week. Before their departure, Penty Jijo of the Joy Sports Desk visited the team's camp and reports.
Speaking to Joy Sports, head coach Charles Sampson provided an update on team's preparation so far.
I would say this time around, we were able to bring in some new faces in the beginning. That is what we wanted to see what we can add up to the squad. We did, and then they brought in quality, so it made the preparation even more exciting.
The Black Princesses have had long-standing issues with per diems and bonuses. Preparations for this tournament have been no different.
Been with the girls throughout the qualifiers, have seen their efforts and what we went through with South Africa and also with Uganda. So coming to this particular camp, all of us, all the girls actually, were expecting to have their bonuses even before we travel. As we speak right now, we may be traveling within some days. They haven't got it. They even had some meeting and called me in and asked me. Those things are difficult for me because I don't know what to say. I don't have answers. I don't know where it's coming from. We've always been supported. Our preparation, amazing. FA is supporting us how we should. What we need, we get it. But the bonus aspect and the payment aspect, I do my best with the staff to motivate the girls as much as we can. But those are the parts that we cannot influence so much. So there, I wish and I hope that it can be resolved as soon as possible.
The Black Princesses have been drawn in Group B alongside France, South Korea, and Ecuador. Reporting for Joy Sports, Penty Jijo. Well, the Princesses will open their campaign against Ecuador on September 6th before taking on Korea Republic and France in the other group fixtures. In club football, Kumasi Asante, their sporting director is Stanley Menzo. He's revealed that his biggest ambition is to see the club's infrastructure improved before his time comes to an end. The former Dutch international, who was appointed in June last year, has identified infrastructure as one of the club's low points.
I'm an old man. I still have dreams, and one of those dreams, I don't dream them at night anymore, but I dream them while I'm awake, is to create one of the best. Kojo is already one of the greatest
giant in
Africa, but we don't have the facilities and environment that a giant need to have. That's what I would like to create. That's what would be that's my dream. And in that facility, in that environment, I would like to see players grow, develop themselves, and become big players in Europe or the world. Yeah, that would be for me the ultimate success.
Well, in boxing, stakeholders have been questioning the relevance of the interim boxing committee set up by governments to reform and stabilize professional boxing in the Ghana. You know that the sports ministry had to set up a committee following the death of Nigerian boxer Gabriel Olanrewa just somewhere last year. There will be more to get into that matter. But FIFA Chief Operating Officer Kevin Lamore, he's been sacked less than 3 weeks after he criticized President Gianni Infantino's aborted plan to sell stakes in competitions to private investors. A FIFA spokesperson confirmed that Lamore's working relationship with the governing body ended on August 17th. That was yesterday, and the staff were informed by Secretary General Matthias Grafstrom on Monday evening that FIFA and Lamore had agreed to part ways. Ending the Joy Sports Center.
Thank you very much, Victor Achu Tamaklo. Time now for the Business Minute, brought to us by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you, Anointed Engineering Services, the generator experts, Palladium Residences, Live Smart, Invest Better, SkySat Technologies, performance that delivers every time, and Pegasus Publishing, shaping minds, winning futures.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you, Anointed Engineering Services, the generator experts, Palladium Residences, Live Smart, Invest Better, SkySat Technologies, performance that delivers every time, and Pegasus Publishing, shaping minds, winning futures. More oil marketing companies are expected to review fuel prices at the pumps this morning after several delayed their price reviews since last Sunday. The city's recent strong performance has slowed its yearly depreciation to just over 4%, with the local currency continuing its good run this week. GCB Bank has emerged as a dominant player in several areas of Ghana's banking industry, according to the 2026 Ghana Banking Survey by PricewaterhouseCoopers. And intense trade talks between Canada and the United States are going down to the wire as Ottawa seeks to avoid fresh 50% tariffs on about $20 billion worth of Canadian imports. And that's the Joy Business Minute.
And that's the Joy Business Minute.
Brought to you by Anointed Electricals. Anointed Engineering Services Limited is into the sales of ultra-silent, fuel-efficient diesel generating sets size ranging from 5 kVA to 3000 kVA at very competitive prices. For every generator you acquire, you will enjoy a 5-year warranty. You will also undertake maintenance and repairs of all kinds of diesel generating sets. Our services include, but it's not limited to, the following: 24-hour emergency services, sale of genuine spare parts, reliable rental services, professional advice, sale of tower lights and rental. Choose us for quality services. Locate our East Legon branch at 26 Boundary Road, Legon, close to AH Hotel. The head office is at number 77 Anointed House on the main Odoko Malam Highway near the Odoko traffic light. We also have 21 branches nationwide. We are into skills training. We have a training school that trains students on generators and plants, auto mechanics, electricals and controls, and solar installations. We offer 80% hands-on training and 20% theory. Call us on our hotline 0243480334 0246-423-534. Anointed, the generator experts.
And let's get interactive this morning here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Social media messages brought to us by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Number 10 liver salt, a refreshing relief Carbell coffee with you every moment. And I'd like to know what your thoughts are on, the plan to have a military station in forest reserves that are recovered by the state to prevent illegal miners from getting back. What's your take on it? Share those thoughts with us here on the Super Morning Show. Get on to X, use the hashtag JoySMS, then on WhatsApp 055-1111-997.
Yes, only if we have the men to be able to station them in all the forest reserves that Galamsey is happening. But anyway, do you know how money really moves in Ghana? At EcoBank, we know it doesn't move only on payday. It moves every day, connecting Ghanaians with their families, communities and businesses. It's airtime sent to a sister, transport money for dad, support for a cousin's education, contribution towards family funeral, and a helping hand when it matters the most. In Ghana, money is more than a transaction. It is people supporting people, families helping families, and communities moving forward together. That's why there's EcoBank, a bank built for the way Ghanaians and Africans move money. With one seamless banking experience across 34 African countries, EcoBank digital platforms connects people, businesses, and opportunities in Ghana and across the continent. Pay bills, transfer money, access ATM services, and manage your finances anytime, anywhere with the EcoBank mobile app. The USSD *770#, EcoBank Online, and EcoBank ATM nationwide. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Now, this birthday message says, today is a special day. Thanking God for your life. I wish you long life, good health, and great achievements. May God grant your heart's desires and bless you abundantly. A glorious birthday to you, Seva. And this one is coming from your mother. But of course,
there's a belated one.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Let me do this for Engineer Dr. Richard Appiah Otu, Accra East Regional Chief of Ghana Water Limited. Yesterday was his birthday. He's also known as Rotarian Richard Appiah Otu.
Rotarian Richard Appiah Otu.
Going out to you, Engineer Dr. Richard Appiah Otu.
Yeah. Another one to Emilia. You are celebrating your birthday today. You also lost your father. That is tragic, but why are you looking at my face like that? I can't wish people happy birthday on the show again. Emilia has lost the father. She's celebrating her birthday today, and I'm just trying to send my condolences. And you are looking at me like something.
I can understand what you're trying to do.
And today is the birthday of Ronel Kwabena Siao. You are 11 years old. This is from your father Kwame, your mom Yvette, your siblings Alain, Darren, and Auntie Stefan. Yeah.
Okay. Well, today's the birthday of my friend Rasmiao sends this one after that name. I know Joshua Jabao. We call him Rasmiao. There's a happy birthday to Xavier Mawunyaga Kole, who known as Ayigbe One. May God bless and protect him and his descendants.
And the final one, Kofi. Happy birthday to Mrs. Gladys Kesua Addison from your cousin Benjamin Ofe Ado on behalf of all your siblings and cousins from Mikropon.
Yeah, a couple of them also coming in. And Winston, please don't go away. This one is to ASP Susan Akpere from MFA and Rosa and Cuthbert. Live long and healthy. We love you. This is from the family to you, ASP Susan Akpere.
Okay, I think I know that family. But let's get into the big stories this morning. Brought to us by Telecel Connecting Energies, Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa, and Awake Natural Mineral Water, one for life. And on big stories this morning here on the Super Morning Show, this is our focus.
Sometimes you sit down and you ask yourself questions. How are you going to end? Will you retire? Will you retire healthy? Or you will die sick? Some retire and they get sick. Some get sick before they retire. So it's something that is given us, that is a serious nightmare. I remember I went out with the health facility and I was advised to stop smoking. I told the doctor that I don't smoke. I'm just a fire officer who is always at the front line. So if we detect any smoke in me or a sign of maybe smoking, I don't smoke. I only fight fire.
This morning, our focus is on fighting fires. But in fighting fires, we're looking at the personnel fighting these fires. And as you just heard, Kojo and Kwaku, the fact that a fire officer goes to the hospital and is advised to stop smoking, his answer is what saddens me. He doesn't smoke. Unfortunately, he's at the front line, protecting us once there's a fire outbreak, protecting our properties. Unfortunately, he suffers as a result. And you heard him. He doesn't know what is going to happen to him. So there are times he's asking himself, and that, unfortunately, is the problem they find themselves in. How do we deal with the situation? Will be our focus here on the Spawn Show. And the worst part is this one.
When I came and I started using some of the PPEs that we have here, I was infected with some rashes from my head. I battled with these rashes. I spent a lot of money on it. Before, by God's grace, I was able to get medication for it. So sharing the same PPEs with sweat at the fire ground, we don't have disinfectants, like things that we use to disinfect the clothing. The only thing we do is to wash or dry them. In most cases, we even dry, not washing.
Fighting fires, fighting for breath, comes up this morning on the Super Morning Show.
And there's a lot to be said about the Ghana Fire Service, and this is a conversation we all need to have. You would never know when the next fire will be you or somebody close to you. So let's have this conversation together. But let me tell you about Awake. Every day your body needs clean, refreshing water, and Awake water is carefully produced to keep you refreshed and hydrated. It's purified, it's refreshed, and purpose-driven. And for every bottle of water you drink from Awake, an amount is donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center at Kolebu. It's part of the One for Life campaign by Awake Natural Mineral Water. So drink water, drink Awake. It's proudly produced by Kasapreko PLC, and this advert is FDA approved.
It's a season of activities from today, and enjoy more bad time for less with Geisha soap. Get your favorite Geisha aloe, rose, lemon, shea butter, and coconut 180 gram for 10 Ghana cedis, and your Geisha black soap 180 gram for 12 Ghana cedis too. Visit a shop or supermarket for yours now. Geisha, gifts from nature, wrapped by Geisha. Keep out of the reach of children, and this advert is FDA approved.
Happy birthday to Teresa Nakwatioko Kote of Airtel Tigo. Happy blessed birthday. May God give you a great day. And this one is coming from Antia to you. But don't miss your chance to win big in the Telecel Mahete promo. Opt in for free today by dialing *500# or visit the Telecel Play app. Only those who opt in are eligible to win incredible prizes. 1 million Ghana cedis every month, 20,000 cedis weekly, and 100 cedis daily. Once you've opted in, simply reload 10 Ghana cedis or more of airtime or data, or top up your Telecel cash wallet or fixed broadband to earn your chance to win. Remember, no opt-in, no entry, so act now, dial *500# or open the Telecel Play app and opt in for free to join the Telecel Mahete promo. You could be the next millionaire. Telecel, connecting energies. When we return after these messages, our friends from the Ghana Revenue Authority will be joining us. We're having a conversation about the Integrated Tax Administration System. Stay with us. We'll be right back after these.
Prices aggressively. Star Oil actually overtook Gold as Ghana's #1 fuel station network in 2025, and both of them decided to compete hard on price. Gold was selling petrol at the MPA floor at its busiest, highest volume station, while charging more at its smaller ones. Star Oil was also doing the same. Its CEO even said publicly that I'll sell petrol at 9 cedis 50 pesos after 10 at night if the regulator lets me. For consumers, that was great news. But here is where the twist comes in. Critics pointed out that the discounts were only at the big, busy station, which are mostly in Accra and the urban south. So if you live in northern Ghana in a smaller town, your local station doesn't move 3 times the volume of an Accra station. So the discounts never reached you. The MPA stepped in from 16th March 2026 and said that selective discounting was banned. Every fuel company had to charge one single price across its entire network. And from April 1st, the MPA set a mandatory price floor. No company could sell below it. The price war ended by decree. The reason was to protect the roughly 4,000 small fuel stations that simply cannot survive a long price war led by the 2 big players. What was the catch? The consumers who were getting the cheapest fuel lost access to it. That is the trade-off. So what does all of this mean for the person at the pump right now? Let us be honest about a few things. First, some of the price movement genuinely came from outside Ghana. The Middle East conflict is real. The closure of the Strait of Hormuz is real. Crude above $85 and sometimes $100, that is real. No government anywhere in any world can simply wish those things away. But here is what is also real. When prices spiked globally before, the same external shock argument was rejected as an excuse by the ruling government, then in opposition. The expectation was set that Ghana could and should protect its people from global price swings through better domestic management. That is the standard that was set. That is the standard we measure against, not because of politics, but because that is what accountability looks like. The analysts largely agree on the answer. The margin cut and direct absorption by time. Real time, and they matter. A 2 cedi cut on diesel this week is the difference between transport fares going up or not. That matters to everyone on the churro. That matters to the market woman at Agboshi. That matters to the guy who delivers your food. But every analyst from COPEC to the Institute for Energy Security says the same thing. This cushioning is not built to last. The cost of absorbing prices directly was estimated at 200 million Ghana cedis in one single month. You cannot do that forever. At some point, either the levies get restructured or the stabilization fund gets used the way it was designed or the relief runs out. But here's a simple version of everything we'll be talking about today. When you pay for fuel, up to half of what you hand over has nothing to do with the actual fuel. It's taxes, levies, margins, costs stacked on costs. Some of those levies exist for real reason. Some of them have simply been sitting there untouched for years. Right now, prices are high. the government is cutting margins to hold off transport strikes and slow down fare increases. That relief is real, but it is expensive and it is not permanent. But what would actually fix this? Restructuring the levies, specifically deciding which ones Ghanaians still need to be paying and which ones have served their purpose, properly deploying the stabilization fund, the money collected specifically for moments like this one, and a long-term plan that doesn't reach for emergency directives every time global crude moves. The pump price you pay today is a result of decisions made by global oil markets, by the government, by the regulator, and by the fuel companies all at once. Understanding which part each of them plays is the first step to holding the right people accountable for the right things. I'm Jacqueline Asmaiwa, and this has been Joy News Explained. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Ghana's fuel crisis.
President John Mahama says the government has changed its approach to the fight against illegal mining by leaving military detachments in forest reserves after clearing them of illegal miners. Now, speaking during his tour of the Upper East region, he said the new approach is necessary because illegal miners previously returned to the forest after they were handed back to the Forestry Commission. He said the strategy means the government has to spend more money to feed the soldiers and provide the logistics they need to remain in the forest.
NIMOS is working very hard. We've seized excavators, we've seized Shamfan machines, and you drive them out of this area, they run to this other area. But we're making progress. Of the almost 49 forest reserves that were invaded, we've been able to clear as many of them as possible of illegal miners. Before, what we did was when we clear, we hand over to the Forestry Services Commission. But they don't fear the Forest Service. They go and drive the forest guards out and they go back into the mine. And so now we put a military detachment. After we clear the forest reserve, we leave a military detachment there. And that means we have to spend more money. One, you must feed the soldiers. You must provide them with the logistics to continue to stay there in the forest. But we will not give up. We'll continue the fight against illegal mining. But Upper East has a good potential, and mining can create jobs, but we need to make sure that these are formalized mines so that they can employ our young people to operate. A few years ago, Cardinal Mine opened in this area, and you should already see the number of people who are working in that particular mine. In Upper West, they have the Black Volta.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. And on Tuesdays, our friends from the Ghana Revenue Authority would join us as they embark on an intensive video tax education campaign dubbed GRA Connect. The aim of the campaign is to educate taxpayers and the general public about the authority's mandate, rights, and obligations of taxpayers, and generally the taxes and duties it collects. This information always shared in a simple and easy to understand manner. And today's session focuses on integrated tax administration system. And we've been joined by Emmanuel Note Ashong, who is Senior Revenue Officer, the Integrated Tax Administration Project Team, and Kobna Otabel, who is Principal Revenue Officer, Audit LTO. Okay, guys, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
I believe you're all doing well.
Very well, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so before we get into anything, it's important we have a good understanding of what this ITAS, that's the Integrated Tax Administration System, is and why it's been introduced.
Right. So, good morning to your lovely listeners, and thank you for the opportunity. So, when we're talking about ITAX, as you said, the acronym stands for Integrated Tax Administrative System. As a normal human being, or as people, or as institutions, we have seen the need to improve upon our systems and ensure that the taxpayers, who are major stakeholders, have the best of everything, and then they are able to file their returns, they are able to do everything in relation to their taxes on one portal as a movement or a shift from the current system, which is basically having a manual and other forms of platforms which do not entirely give the taxpayers the best we would want to give to them. So the iTax is basically looking at an integrated, when you say integrated, we're looking at models being put together to ensure that every single thing that would ordinarily have been done, probably visiting the tax office and doing certain things manually, would all be put together and then done digitally with ease from the comfort of their offices and then the comfort of their homes, to save them time, to save them revenue, and then to save them resources.
Okay, I like that. So this is just to make sure that we can comfortably engage GRA from from our homes. We don't have to go to one place, go to the other place. Okay, so let's delve deeper into the benefits of iTax to the taxpayer. How would I benefit?
Thank you very much once again. So, ordinarily or in times past, taxpayers had the unfortunate scenarios of visiting our various tax offices, which of course people were moving from one end to another, respectfully wasting time, respectfully wasting resources and productivity time. But we have looked at that. Our management have seen the need to ensure that taxpayers have the best of productivity and ensure that the revenue, as we would want to take from them or the government would want to generate from them, is adequate and accurate. And so basically we have looked at ensuring that they can sit at the comfort of their homes. You can travel and file your returns, do your online registrations, make your payment at the comfort of wherever you are at the click of a button. All you need to do is to be connected to the integrated tax administrative system, and everything you need to do will be done effectively without moving from one place to the other to do that.
Okay, and now that you've shared with us all the benefits and everything, we could do all of these things from the comfort of our homes. Sounds very interesting. Yes. But help us understand some of the key features of the integrated tax administration system.
All right, thank you very much. So some of the key features of the integrated tax administration system, ITAS, as it offers an electronic filing and payment of taxes.
Okay, that's good.
Right. So we veered off from our manual forms of collecting of taxes. Now we have, my colleague mentioned, we now have a unified system which would grant the taxpayers the opportunity to see their obligations, their credits, their balances, anything regarding their liabilities. Now, one interesting thing also is that all requests from our taxpayers to the Commissioner General is now digitized. So from refunds to whichever service you want, to tax reliefs and all that, you now have to apply on the system and approvals will be given to you. Right. Then also there's real-time processing of taxpayer transactions. For example, for PAY, when you submit your TIN or your Ghana card number to your employer, immediately your employer files and pays this return. Immediately, within this process of, let's say, 1 or 2 minutes, you as the employee, you get your credit which has been deducted from you. And also, I spoke about the digitized request. Now, we have in the system a model which taxpayers can track the status of their request. That is it in at an approval stage or whichever stage it is. So it comes in the form of this token IDs which our banks, sometimes our banks gives to us for us to track our request. So, and one thing also is that once your request is approved or rejected or whichever the case may be, you always get a response from the Commissioner General via SMS and email addresses also. And lastly, also would have integrations with other sister institutions as well.
Okay, good. That's some good news there. But I know the taxpayers portal now. And so now that you're telling me about all the new things you're doing, will there be a new portal, a new taxpayers portal?
Yes, of course. ITAS brings with it a new, we call it e-services portal, which would be accessible to the taxpayers on etax.gra.gov.gh, which is a secured site. So our taxpayers can be well assured that their informations are kept.
You know, in Ghana, when GRA says, "Oh, we've introduced a new system," people start asking, they want to find ways and means of taxing people. I beg you. We know that taxes are passed in Parliament, but is ITAS introducing any new taxes?
No, not at all. It's just a new system which helps the GRA to administer taxes. So whatever liabilities you have previously on the old portals, same applies. So there's no new tax at all.
Okay. Let's talk a bit about transparency and accountability. Okay. How does ITAS, that's the Integrated Tax Administration System, improve transparency and accountability? Yes, Commoner.
Right. Like my colleague said, with the current system we have, unfortunately, we have some form of manual activities going on. And so where you are able to do some or engage some activities like filing online, payments online, there have been instances where we've been made aware, from our taxpayers, that some activities, or we know that some activities will still have to be done manually, like, let's say, objections and certain other things. So what happens is that with this particular one, like my colleague said, with iTax, everything is actually done online. You have the capacity or the ability to see what you're doing. You have the ability to track progress, like he said. Everything can be seen with just a click of a button. We decided, or management has decided, that they want to give taxpayers the best, ensure that compliance is key to Ghana Revenue Authority. Compliance is what our Commissioner General loves to see. And so what happens is that with this particular one, it is such that it's going to integrate or communicate with all other platforms. And so you don't need to, currently there are activities that you'd have to do manually. You'd have to object manually. Letters would have to be given manually. Other things would have to be, ICAMS is sitting somewhere. But with the iTax, everything is integrated such that we all have a 360 view of whatever is happening. You, the taxpayer, you can view everything within time. And then the tax officers or the tax authority equally has the ability to go through. So what we're doing is that with what is happening, we've given, with the first phase, we are looking at getting enough feedback from the taxpayer. We want the taxpayers to feel at home. We want the taxpayers to say that, okay, this is a great improvement upon what is happening. And that is why we would educate and ensure that transparency is key and can easily be administered and then monitored.
Great. I like the bit about the fact that, you can monitor whatever applications you make.
Yeah.
You can monitor also. And that's transparency right there. But what tax types are currently covered?
All right. So currently we are administering just 4 tax types for the pilot phase. All right. So we are administering pay as you earn, PAYE, value-added tax, VAT, VAT withholding, and withholding taxes. So these are the 4.
Now, you talked about this pilot phase. Please throw more light on the pilot phased approach.
Right. Thank you very much. So with as the name suggests, the pilot phase, this started on the 1st of April 2026. And so there are some tax offices which have already been onboarded. We have the Kanesi Tax Service Center. This area has been onboarded. We have the large taxpayer office, which has also been onboarded. Currently, by the beginning of August, to the decision of management is that by the end of the year, all taxpayers would be on board and then, of course, run concurrently with what we have at the moment. So the first phase has taken off, like I said, and some taxpayers are already on. And what we want to see, or what we are looking forward to seeing, is that they give us extensive feedback. They actually get on board. As much as possible, manipulate it as much as possible, run their activities through it, update themselves with their profiles, go through the system and ensure that whatever challenges they have, whatever they believe will be inhibiting tax payment and tax filing and tax processing, They just have to ensure that they voice it out, or they give it out, because the Commissioner General is ready to take all the feedback and ensure that by the end of the year, when we are fully on board, every challenge or whatever the taxpayers are looking forward to enjoying at the comfort of their homes and their offices would be on board the iTax system.
So how would a taxpayer, how would I know, for instance, that you've been selected to join ITAS?
All right. So your taxpayer service centers, or the tax officers would write to you, informing you of you being selected for the pilot of ITAS.
Okay.
Right. So we send official letters, we send text messages also informing them. So once you get the SMS alert, or you get the official letter from your tax officers for the selection, you need to get yourself ready to onboard the system.
So, let's look at the old taxpayers portal. Will GRA use the old taxpayers portal and the new ITAS e-service portal together? Will they both run at the same time?
Yes, exactly. So they'll be running concurrently. So as I mentioned earlier, it's just 4 tax types which we are currently implementing on ITAS, which is the PAY, VAT withholding, and withholding tax. So once you are onboarded on ITAS, you will only transact these 4 tax types on ITAS. Any other tax types would be done in the old taxpayers portal.
Okay. And so what should taxpayers do now to prepare for ITAS?
Right. I think taxpayers should, be in readiness to be onboarded onto the ITAS system. What they need to do is to ensure that their details, that's the most important thing. When we don't have accurate details, and in our part of the world, sometimes data is what we are unable to work with because of what we have. And so we would respectfully appeal to taxpayers to ensure that their details are updated and accurate, for that matter, because that is what we'll be using. So if you know that there's any data on or details on the old system that is not accurate, we respectfully appeal that they update it as soon as possible. And we also ask that, we are in the learning phase, and we would love that they refer to, we are on all social media handles. We would love that they reach out. We are how to go about it on YouTube, from the registration and updating of profiles. We have it on YouTube. We're almost on Facebook. We are on Snap. We are virtually on every social media platform. And so we would love that they abreast themselves in readiness with what we are bringing on board.
Great. Anything you want to say finally, Emmanuel Notea Shom?
What I would like to say is that ITAS is here. ITAS is here to make tax compliance easier, faster, and more convenient. So we are encouraging our taxpayers that they should, if they have new contacts, they've changed their places of business, let them contact their nearest taxpayer service centers so that they get this updates done before they are onboarded on the system, to make the profile activation on the new system smooth.
Okay. Anything you want to say finally, Kobna?
Right. I will just want to appeal to taxpayers to, as much as possible, ensure that they reach out. We are in the piloting phase, and we would love to hear from them. And so they can actually reach out on our toll-free number 0800 900 110. They can actually email us. They can go to any taxpayer office, get information. We would love that they actually get themselves in readiness. Tax compliance is key to generating revenue to help build our nation.
Exactly. Tax compliance is key. I always say this, when you pay your taxes, when you're talking about the country, you feel proud because you know that you've contributed. Don't always sit on the fence. That when you talk, they ask you, hey, what have you done for your country? Then you keep quiet. But you see, it's always good when you contribute so you can take authority on. All right?
Yeah. Thank
you very much, Kobna Tabil, who is Principal Revenue Officer, Audit Large Taxpayers Office, and Emmanuel Notea Shong, who is a Senior Revenue Officer, ITAS Project Team. Folks, when we return after these messages, our conversation is on fighting fires, fighting for breath, how fire officers are suffering in dealing with fires. We'll be right back.
Mine development coming up. There are several other areas that we can see the potential for proper mining so that it can produce more jobs for our young people. But our target is to formalize the mining activity so that we have a greater control over it than the current scattered illegal mining that takes place. The advantage with the Upper East region is most of the places where the gold is found in rock.
Residents and business owners in the Domkwabenya Brekusu enclave are demanding urgent road repairs, accusing the government of sidelining the area in major road development projects for more than 2 decades. Clad in red and holding placards, the protesters say the poor road are hurting businesses, disrupting movement and putting lives at risk. They are demanding immediate action from the government. Listen to some of them express their frustration to my colleague Stephen Mensah.
Neglect fix the road. The neglect fix the road. Oma jayemu achedodo. Oma jayemu achedodo. Abaya uja mo de ma sky first contractor. Wa maniska. Enu oja hokoi. Enu onu so asisa ne niam free road ni so. Basi kwa we de kwan na ye. Ti ye bra ye sra ban ye bra Mahama ban. Okododo wa na okolanche big push ni wasi ahaka ho. Okolanche big push o si Brekusu road ka ho. But contractor bi ani kwan so. Enti ye sra no big push no ni nyina o ma start big push road ni nyina. Enti Brekusu dey no on start.
So why are you protesting today?
Because of our road. Except the road that's the killing us. It's a very serious. So Mahama should come and do something for us. And highly.
How serious is this?
You said?
How serious is this?
The dust. We have because of the dust. We can't. That's killing our business, and the bad road is killing our business. We can't. Please, Mahama, we beg you.
I can remember about 8 or 9 years. No, Mahama, what Mahama will tell you says, Brekusu road has been finished, everything, and up to now nothing. And the dust is killing us. Who the people sell over than the store? Nobody can open because why it open? You open your store by 1 o'clock. 30 minutes time, you have to clean that. Every 30 minutes, you have to clean yourself because of the dust. So if they can do anything for us, we are not asking for a big. Even though small, even though sapity, quality, a little quality, we will be appreciative with it. The dust, if the dust go off, we are okay. We are not asking to do what this and the little one for us.
All right. Thank you so much. For you, have you contacted your MC, your MP?
We tried. This is not the first demonstration we've done. Even the previous government, during their 8 years in power, we tried. We did demonstration. They didn't fix it. So since we have a new government in power, we want them to help us fix the road. The road is killing us. We don't get clients. We want people to build in their houses. There are a lot of people who have built houses from Kwabenya to Brekusu. They are not staying there all because of the dust, the health of their children. We really need a road to be fixed.
What business do you do?
I'm an agent. I sell lands and I rent buildings too. So I need customers to come around. I really need them to fix the road for us. I really need them.
Thank you so much. So a bit of update as to what they are doing here. Currently, you notice that they are clad in red armbands, holding some placards, some of which read 23 kilometers of neglect is too much. No roads, no votes. Bad roads are killing us. And these are the individuals, tell us that they want government to look at ensure peace.
Maybe 20 kilometers from Kwabenya to Ketase, maybe 23 kilometers. We can do it one. How? We just see more dust. If we're selling food, dust. If we do anything, dust. How? So we need advert for now. We give it 3 days. 3 days. We start from project 3 days time. So 3 days is too long. 3 days is too long. So
welcome back, still live.
We will start from tomorrow.
Roy 99.7 FM. And no, we don't talk enough about how stressful it can be to figure out what nourishing breakfast to give kids every morning. Well, I know it's so stressful. I don't want to be in that position. And that's why Milo All-in-One is such a great option. It has a creamy, delicious taste kids can't have enough of. But there's more to Milo All-in-One than the rich, milky, chocolatey taste. There's so much goodness in every pack. Just take a moment to read the back of pack and see for yourself. It's important nutrients combined with malt, supports energy release, cocoa for that rich taste, and milk for calcium to support them as they grow. So keep choosing Milo All-in-One, not just for that special taste, but also for the nourishing goodness. Milo, energy to go further.
And when you think about mattresses, when you think about comfort, when you think about safety while you sleep, that should take you to Latex Foam Rubber Products Limited. Latex Foam remains the tried and tested brand we all love for almost 60 years now. They offer you unmatched quality and durability for every Ghanaian home. So make the smart choice. Talk to them 0302-231155 in Accra and 0322029365 in Kumasi. Or you walk into any of their outlets nationwide for your preferred choices. You can visit their website, latexfoamghana.com, and their social media platforms to see what they have on offer for you. Never settle for less. Go for quality, buy Latex Foam, or else you do yourself. Latex Foam is your partner for life.
So imagine sourcing directly from the heart of manufacturing and trade. Consolidated Bank Ghana is thrilled to announce the third international trade trip to China, an exclusive trip designed just for you to Guangzhou and Yiwu. From the 4th to the 20th of October 2026, you get the opportunity to explore the Chinese market, network with suppliers, and discover innovative products that can elevate your business. Enjoy easy access to various sectors with professional translators at your service to bridge any communication gaps. Numerous benefits await you, including insightful business seminars, orientation to the Chinese market, factory and market visits, and valuable connections that could transform your business strategy. Don't miss out on the chance to expand your horizon. For inquiries and registration, call Rosemary on 0243-803596, Esther on 0243-043708, Solomon on 0556-799127, or Lethal on 0531-019150. Together, let's make your business dreams a reality. CBG, we stand with you.
And if you need fuel, make the smart stop at Star Oil, Ghana's largest oil marketing company. They have over 240 stations nationwide, and they give you high quality fuel, great service, and real value for money. This is why many Ghanaians are switching to Star Oil. And with a Star card, you can enjoy safe cashless fueling and easy expense tracking. And if you want to give somebody a gift, you can give them the Star card. Load it so that the person can also become a Star saver. So wherever you go, choose Star Oil for your quality and affordable fuels.
Now, time now to focus on fighting fires in this country. Now, have you ever thought about the cost of fighting fires in Ghana for those who fight it? From years of breathing toxic smoke to shortage of breathing apparatus, shared PPEs, limited health monitoring, and gaps in insurance support. In this feature, Fighting Fire, Fighting for Breath, will tell you the experiences of these firemen.
15 years ago, a burning passion led Station Officer Abubakar Mohammed into the Ghana National Fire Service. Over those years, he has run into smoke and raging flames so that lives and property could be saved. Today, as he reflects on that sacrifice, one troubling question lingers. Will he retire with a silent disease in his lungs?
Sometimes you sit down and you're asking yourself questions. How are you going to end? Will you retire? Will you retire healthy? Or you retire sick? Some retire and they get sick. Some get sick before they retire. So it's something that is given us, that is a serious nightmare to all or any firefighter.
It is a sacrifice that began with almost nothing. The service has long struggled with poor logistics and a shortage of protective equipment. In Abubakar's early days, fighting a fire could mean arriving with buckets of water and tree branches, and no breathing apparatus at all.
I was posted to a station, Damango, fire station by then. I got there and the car was out of commission as a recruit. So at that time, we got to extend that where if there is a fire call, we have to use our motorbikes. You use your motorbike, you carry a ladder, first floor ladder, you go to the scene. Then with buckets and water, with the assistance of the community, then you do what you can. That was how I started. It has not been easy.
His worry is not abstract. It is rooted in a recent hospital visit. During a routine checkup, a doctor bluntly advised him to stop smoking. But Abubakar had never smoked a cigarette in his life. His lungs were telling a different story, one shaped by years of inhaling thick smoke on the job.
Yes, I remember I one time visited a health facility and I was advised to stop smoking. I told the doctor that I don't smoke. I'm just a fire officer who is always at the front line. So if he detects any smoke in me or sign of maybe smoking, I don't smoke. I only fight fire.
Around the world, the danger is well documented. In the United States, a landmark study followed nearly 30,000 firefighters. It found they were 14% more likely to die from cancer than the general public, with higher rates of cancers of the respiratory, digestive, and urinary systems. In Britain, researchers studied firefighters who battled the 2017 Grenfell Tower fire disaster that left 72 people dead. About 1 in 4 later reported long-term health problems, and the researchers found a strong link to the smoke they had breathed. In Ghana, there are no such studies. There is only the lived experience of officers like Abubakar quietly accumulating layers of smoke in their lungs. And he is not alone. Station Officer Zakaria Yakubu has served for 4 years. He is breathing what Abubakar breathed for 15, and he's still doing it with outdated equipment. Yakubu says the main problem for him is the shortage of fire trucks, also known as tenders.
Almost all our tenders are grouped. For example, this regional headquarters substation, getting to a year now, our tender is grouped. We don't have a tender here. And if you watch the whole Tamale, for now it is only 2 tenders that we have for Tamale and its surrounding villages. So the challenges are numerous.
It is a demanding terrain. In northern Ghana, burning the land is woven into daily life, and each dry season, the region loses large stretches of forest to fire, sending tons of carbon into the air Yakubu and his colleagues breathe. At every fire, officers are supposed to wear breathing apparatus. But across the northern region, these are in short supply, so officers share them and sometimes pay for it with their health.
When I came and I started using some of the PPEs that we have here, I was infected with some rashes from my head. I battled with these rashes. I spent a lot of money on it before, by God's grace, I was able to get medication for it. So sharing the same PPEs with sweat at the fire ground, we don't have disinfectants, like things that we use to disinfect the clothing. The only thing we do is to wash or dry them. In most cases, we even dry, not washing. So that's for the risk in it. We are all exposed to it.
For Yakubu, the deeper fear comes when the air itself runs out.
Well, normally, when we get to a fire scene and we realize that where you are to enter is a thick smoke, we have what we call a BA. That is what we are going to use. But sometimes the BA, the oxygen that is to save you may not be enough, or it wouldn't be there at all for you to to use. You see?
So in such an instance, what then do you do?
Well, you try to perform magic, and at the end you inhale the smoke.
And despite breathing that smoke in the line of duty, he says there is no health insurance he can easily turn to.
But there's nothing like that.
Back to Abubakar. Even with a doctor raising the alarm about his lungs, he says he cannot afford the cost of a full checkup. So he protects himself the only way he can.
Well, I treated it I treated it in my own way, because I only adhered to the advice the doctor gave me when I told him I am a firefighter and I don't smoke. He told me to always try to protect myself at the fire scene. So that is what I did. In fact, I have to go online and search for some of these face masks that has these filters on them. So that was what I was using as an improvise. By that time, we were not having enough breathing apparatus, and then even refilling them was a problem.
What is at stake medically? Long-term smoke exposure can run from chest infections to scarring of the lungs and cancer. Professor Adamu Isaka is an associate professor of thoracic surgery at Tamale Teaching Hospital and the UDS School of Medicine. He sees these cases regularly.
Normally, the impact that we are seeing is a spectrum from benign lung conditions to malignant lung conditions, including lung cancer. Of recent, some of myself and other colleagues we published on the lung cancer issue in Ghana, and smoking is a key factor. But when it comes to the smoke, normally we are not able to identify the patients who are exposed to cigarette smoking. So even though it's not well documented, we know that the smoke from all forms of bush burning, firefighting, from exhaust fumes, they are all causes of that. And especially for our firefighters, who when they go in, there's a thick smoke. If you are not wearing the proper PPIs and then you are inhaling them, it has a short-term impact and then it has a long-term impact. So if in the short term, you are going to have respiratory problems, starting from you having the infections like being more susceptible to pneumonia. And then in the midterm, you'll be having some lung diseases where the patient is consistently feeling tired because the lung is losing its normal tissues, which normally we'll be referring it as the person having lung fibrosis.
And the most important question of all, can the damage be undone?
The exposure is like cumulative. So if you get a few of them and then the exposure stops, then it means there's likely, if the damage is not severe, then the damage is likely to be reversed. So like the chance in the early stages, you get exposed, then maybe it's an upper respiratory symptom, starts with pneumonia. If the exposure doesn't continue, then there's no problem with that. But most of the people that would do it, it's a continuous exposure. So when you have the continuous exposure, where now the lung starts losing its functionality, where the fibrosis starts setting in, then normally at that point, then it seems like the reversing, unless you see a specialist using very dedicated medications, then that might delay the progression. But in terms of reversing it back to normal, becomes impossible.
So what does the service say? Hudu Baba is the Northern Regional Public Relations Officer. He says breathing apparatus has been provided, but not enough for every officer to have their own.
For instance, in our region here, we have a plant whereby we used to fill every breathing apparatus equipment. The districts do come and refill them. As and when they exhaust the content, they bring it and it is being refilled for them to be used. Ideally, because of sicknesses and diseases, we prefer every fireman has a dedicated equipment, or better still, an apparatus. But because of the lack of the logistics, we are not able to do that.
On the health burden, he makes a striking admission. Officially, no officer's illness has ever been traced to the job because proving it is so difficult.
To be honest with you, it doesn't really come like that. That report doesn't come. And I will associate that to ignorance. They need more education. Sometimes a personnel can be sick without knowing the cause of his sickness. That may be the reason why we don't receive such reports.
And on insurance, he insists that cover exists, but concedes that getting it when you need it most is the problem.
The service has provided the personnel with this glyco insurance. And so they contribute, and a component of the contribution is to take care of our health. And so, but what the challenge is when you need the services immediately, maybe you don't have the money. You see, that is a challenge, because sometimes it is difficult for somebody to visit the hospital simply because the person doesn't have the money at the time. And so the insurance should have been in a way that once you get to the hospital, you are treated free and discharged. But this you have to apply to the office of the glyco at the headquarters, so that it will be facilitated for you to get that component to take care of you. So in effect, it is there.
That gap between cover on paper and help in the moment has been the story for years. As recently as 2025, the fire service itself admitted its personnel had no real insurance beyond the workman's compensation every public worker gets. And even that meant paying first and claiming back later. Then the government moved in. In July 2025, Interior Minister Muntaka Mohammed Mubarak launched a new scheme with the State Insurance Corporation. 50,000 cedis for an officer critically injured on duty and 100,000 cedis for an officer who dies in service. It's designed to pay out at once instead of forcing the wounded to chase a refund. The minister called it just the beginning. In November, the service and the insurer signed the agreement, and the 2026 budget promised 100 new fire trucks and fresh equipment to retool the service. More than 1,600 new recruits passed out last year. But there's a gap this new support does not close. The insurance only pays when there's a sudden injury or death of a personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service. Not for the slow accumulating smoke in the lungs and body of many of these personnel that work day and night. By the service's own account, there has never been a formal trace of the illnesses of their personnel to the job that they do, more especially because it's so hard to prove. And the 100 new fire tenders promised to the Ghana National Fire Service is still a no-show 6 months into a brand new year. So it can definitely be said that Abubakar and many others like him who share his plight, this support definitely sits outside of what they truly need to do their job safely. For Abubakar, the fix is simple, and he has thought it through.
each and every person should get his or her PPEs, and then also have an insurance. And in my case, when I say insurance, I truly don't agree with falling sick, footing your own bills, then you come and you apply for refund, or they will pay you back your money. If the service is able to get a very standard health insurance card for each officer, so that immediately you step in a facility, because when you step in a facility, you start spending, and at that point in time, as whether you have the money or not, you don't know. So if you have that card, immediately you enter, the card will take care of your first entry. Whatever happens later, you can still do that, and then if there is the need for refund, then it will be refunded.
Yet, the fire keeps coming, and so does the smoke in his lungs. His only hope is for a policy that will truly cover his medical bills the day he finally steps out of the smoke for good. This story was a collaboration with New Narratives. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
Tomorrow we come and so we don't need to test again.
So these individuals are protesting, and they say that they will need government to look at fixing the roads quickly. They started protesting early this morning, and they were moving from Brekusu. They moved to some principal streets of this constituency, actually moved to the Kwabenya roundabout, and are moving to the seat of government here in this constituency. I understand they'll be moving to the MP's office and the MC's office, but then a state of the road. This will be the state of the road. Some untied portions of the road, and these individuals say this is bad enough for their vehicles and it's affecting their health. Actually, we've seen members of the Ghana Police Service and some other security agencies all present here, and they've actually caused some heavy gridlock on this stretch, and they say that they will need government to look as quickly as possible to fix the roads.
Well, let's take you to Brekusu now, where my colleague Stephen Mensah will be joining us live for more on this demonstration. Stephen, have the demonstrators presented their petition yet?
Yes, MFA, in the last couple of minutes, these protesters presented their petition, and they've been telling us from the leadership, we gather that it indicates that they want their roads fixed as soon as possible. They've actually given government a timeline. They say they want the roads fixed by the end of the year. So by December, they say if these roads are not fixed, they'll hit the streets again. And per the updates and from what we've heard from some of the residents, they tell us that it's leading to some complications in their health, respiratory diseases. Some also indicates, and from some of the individuals we spoke to, they tell us that some pregnant women actually gave birth in their vehicles due to the poor state of their road. We've heard from some of the business owners, the drivers in fact, and they tell us that they have to buy spare parts every 2 days or every 2 weeks, some 2 weeks, some 2 days, to replace parts of their vehicles because of the poor state of the road. We've seen some eateries around here also, and they actually also talk about the poor state of the road, from the shawarma joints to the restaurants themselves. The restaurant sellers that they have to clean their seats and actually look at covering their food each and every time. In every minute and every second, they have to cover their food because of the dust involved from this poor state of the road. The protesters ended their demonstration not too long ago. We saw the Ghana Police Service, we saw some personnel from the ambulance service all together with the protesters marched to some of the principal streets. They protested from Brekusu, and this, we understand, will be moving or leading to some schools like Ashesi University, to the Presidential Villa, that's the Pediatric Lodge, and to some other key parts in Eastern Region. They protested all through here to the Kwabenya roundabout and returned to the Kwabenya market, where they are currently housed, or they currently are. They are chanting, they are actually protesting, telling us that they need a roads fix as soon as possible.
But who do they present the petition to?
As of yet, they've not presented a petition to any government official or to any person from government as of yet. But then we understand that they say they will be presenting it. We'll get you the update as to when they do that. But then for the state of the road, we can confirm that the road is pretty bad. You'll notice that if you are to wear a white and ply this route, you'll be ending up in some brownish color because of the poor state of the road. You also notice that on this stretch also, there are some potholes. You notice for some of the road it's quite tight, but you notice some potholes on the stretch. For some parts also, and I'd want to confirm that up on the hill, you notice that there has not been any tar of any part of the road that has been asphalted. But then you will see some of the drainages on the stretch, but then no tar on the road. And it's pretty dusty, very brownish in color.
Definitely, the comments from the residents suggest that it is pretty bad, but thank you so much, Stephen. Let me take you to Tishi. For months, residents of Tishi telephone pole have endured the agony of dry taps, leaving many with no option but to improvise to survive. A situation that has now reached a disturbing extreme, with some residents resorting to seawater for basic household needs. It's not clear why Ghana Water limited supply is not reaching them, but their desperate search for water continues. And Evelyn Ampa visited the area and reports.
Imagine turning on your tap, hoping for water, only to see nothing. Here at Teishi telephone pole area, residents say that silence can stretch for 1, sometimes even 2 months. And when the water finally
comes, is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. And this morning, we've been joined by Assistant Chief Fire Officer Grade 1, ACFO, Osmond Anum, who is Deputy Director for National Operations of the Ghana National Fire Service. Desmond Appiah is lead of Clean Air Fund Ghana. Good morning, Desmond. Good morning, Osmond. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning. We'll get into the conversation shortly, and I'd like to start off with you, ACFO1 Anum. But before I do that, you know, we don't talk enough about how stressful it can be to figure out what nourishing breakfast to give kids every morning. That's why Milo All-in-One is such a great option. It has a creamy, delicious taste kids can't have enough of. But there's more to Milo All-in-One than the rich, milky, chocolatey taste. There's so much goodness in every pack. Just take a moment to read the back of pack and see for yourself. It's important nutrients combined with malt that supports energy release, cocoa for that rich taste, and milk for calcium to support them as they grow. So keep choosing Milo All-in-One, not just for the special taste, but also for the nourishing goodness. Milo, energy to go further. And you know that you sometimes have noticed that your lights go off when you least expect it. Plans interrupted, businesses forced to pause, and homes left in the dark at inconvenient times. Well, Translight Solar is here to help you. With Translight Solar, you enjoy consistent, reliable power every single day. No interruptions, no surprises. And their smart solar solutions are designed to keep your lights on, your appliances running, and your operations moving while helping you cut down electricity costs. Now, they're offering exclusive installation discounts starting at 34,000 Ghana cedis only, with flexible payment options. Call 0242 438 746 or 0256 040838 or visit translightsolar.com. Translight Solar, reliable power, total peace of mind. And going green is not just about saving the planet. It can save you real money. Install solar panels and cut down power costs. Get an electric vehicle and reduce what you spend getting around. Switch to energy efficient equipment and lower the cost of running your home or business. And the best part, Absa Bank can help you finance all of it. The Absa Green Finance Loan gives you what you need to make it happen. Walk into any Absa branch, ask about the Absa Green Finance Loan today, and say yes to a greener tomorrow. Terms and conditions apply. Absa Bank reminds you to shine your eye to avoid being scammed. Your story matters. Absa. Okay, so let's get into the conversation now. And you heard about, the plight of these men who help us fight fire. Let me start off with you, ACFO1 Anum, because, firefighters still having to share breathing apparatus. Is this simply a resource problem or there's something deeper?
Well, let me say good morning to you and your listeners out there. And let me also say that all the firemen and retired fire officers who are listening to us, I give kudos to you. Good morning to you, and we thank you for all the service. God bless you. I think it's a gap problem. It's a gap in timelines. The timelines of replacement of this PPE, timelines of decontamination, and then timelines for refurbishing the service itself has been a big problem. The gap, because things like the BA and stuff like that, going out there fighting fires, we have something like carcinogens getting stuck on it. After 5 years, it's kind of out and not too good to use, just like all the PPEs and that kind of a thing. So it is basically the gap.
Okay. But you see, ACFO, and, let me, in my other life, when I say in my other life, if I know the lifespan of a certain, product, okay, I know that at the end of its lifespan, I am expected to replace it. And accountants do very well with that. That this thing, after this number of years, it will expire. So if you go and buy in bulk, let's say you've gone to buy breathing apparatus, with a lifespan of, say, 5 years, for purposes of analysis. Before the end of its lifespan, before the end of its life, the expectation is that you will replace it. Should this be a problem for the Ghana National Fire Service?
Well, the Ghana National Fire Service is a human institution. We have our own challenges. And then also, let me also say that our budgets are not that huge. We should not be pointing fingers, let me put it that way. But all I want to say is that if successive governments have been true to our call, you understand, and then we know that at least every time within these timelines, within these gap times, it should be kind of replaced, and it's not been done, then we have a problem with that one. Okay, because then it's like we have a father, we have to go to the father and ask for what we want from the father. If the father have the resources to give it to us, it is given. If it's not been given to us...
Do you get the resources you need?
I would say some. And I would also say that as human institution as we are, all around the world, I don't think there's any institution that you want to talk about that.
ACFO, let's do it this way. And I know the challenge that, you people would normally have talking about these things.
Okay.
You started by saying there's a gap.
Yeah.
Gap is such a broad term to use.
Sure.
So let's begin to get into the specifics.
Okay.
How big is the current equipment gap within the Ghana National Fire Service?
12, 15 years.
When you say 12, 15 years, help me understand. What do you mean?
I mean about the gap of like getting new appliances and stuff. That's the gap. You understand? Over the past 15 years or so, we've not really gotten new equipment.
15 years?
Yeah. 12, 15 years, because I mean, we've not got our appliances being replaced. Most of our appliances on the road are that many years. You understand?
I remember when Amadou Surugo was chairman of the Ghana National Fire. They bought some this thing for you. Since then, they have not replaced anything.
Nothing.
That was like in 2012 or so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Between 12 to 15 years, not even your PPEs.
No.
So how are you coping?
We're coping with what we have. You see, the point is, like I'm saying, it's not that we don't have. We have, but I mean, they're not that good.
Is it enough?
It is not enough. And like I'm saying, there is no institution that will tell you that what they have is enough. Okay? We don't have enough, yes. For that, we must accept it.
Okay. Now, let me bring in Desmond at this point, and I'll get back to you.
Right.
Desmond, so from a clean air perspective, how exposed are firefighters compared with the average Ghanaian?
Thank you very much for the invite this morning, and also good morning to your listeners. And I must commend the firefighters for the willingness to be open. In fact, recently we've had a couple of concerns that have come from the fire angle, especially relating to their occupational safety and health. The issue of fire burning, and we're experiencing about 5,000 to 6,000 fires in Ghana each year. So on average, it's showing that we experience about 17 fires a day. It's just that the way that it's spaced is a bit different. And also, I was thinking again about the market fires. You know, if you have market fires, most markets are in urban areas. It means that more people are exposed. So it's not only the firefighters, which I would come to, but the fact that when there's a fire, and we have a certain culture in our country where when we see a disaster, we tend to rush towards it. And so when you have a market fire, and I remember years ago there was a fire in Accra, center of Accra, that burned for about 3-4 days. And in that space of 3-4 days, despite the firefighting going on, we were billowing smoke, the content of which we did not know, out into the atmosphere and polluting the air. So you would see, recently also in Kumasi, when there was a fire, which lasted for a few days, you would see that the quality of air, and because air also travels, that is not just those who are close to it that are being impacted, but it goes further and people are impacted. The level of the PM 2.5 or particulate matter 2.5, which are so tiny than hair, that they can even enter your nostrils, get into your bloodstream, and cause a lot of challenges. I'm sure we'll talk about a few of them. But in the specific case of the firefighters, these are the people going into the fires and the smoke. And so when they have a challenge, as we have learned from this documentary and also hearing from our brother here, it means that they are even more exposed. Mm-hmm. The things that those of us who are outside of it but still are suffering because the air is polluted and we are breathing it in and it's impacting our health and other things. What about those who are really in the thick of it? I mean, the escalation is very high. I think in the documentary they mentioned about the percentage exposure for firefighters to cancers and then to other respiratory and diseases. Yeah. So clearly, firefighters are more exposed, mainly because you go into each fire and the fires are different. Earlier on, we were talking about even the nature of vehicle fires are changing because the vehicles that are coming in, electric vehicles, fighting that fires from electric vehicles are way different from fighting fires from maybe conventional.
Yeah. And Desmond, because you bring up this issue, I just want to understand whether firefighters are adequately recognized in Ghana's air quality and occupational health policies.
In fact, I don't think they are. And that is why I'm very excited that Joy, through the Clean Air reports and the collaboration that you have with New Narratives supported by Clean Air Fund, is bringing the spotlight on some of these issues. Virtually every week, there's a conversation about air quality, which was not the case before. I think maybe a few years ago, we would not even be talking about fire personnel and their exposure to smoke and air quality and the impact on them. So I don't think we recognize them enough. And it also feels as if the fire service is being looked at as very low in the order of security agencies. But the services that they provide are very, very, very critical. You know, very, very critical. That if there's a fire happening, they are running into it, trying to save people, going into the space when they are so conscious of the hazards. In a lot of occupations, you are advised that make sure the hazard is reduced to the barest minimum before you go in. In the fire department or fire services, they, as long as the hazard are calculated, they go into it. You know, so I think that we are not doing them a great service. And this is a call to action for all of us.
Exactly. And ACF, I mean, I just want to understand something. The expectation is that the man who goes to fight fire is adequately protected. He doesn't have to leave thinking about, his life. And I listened to the documentary, and this guy says he goes to the hospital, he's told to stop smoking. He said, but I don't smoke. And it struck me. How can the man who's fighting fire be struggling when he's supposed to have protective equipment?
Yeah, I know that documentary was done in somewhere in the northern region. Let me say this. We have this, the BAs are there, But the structures, for instance, the BA plant that's supposed to,
as in a breathing apparatus.
Exactly, the breathing apparatus. The plant that is supposed to provide oxygen to refill the cylinders, we don't have that many. So, for instance, let's say like Northern region, we have only one at the regional command. You understand? So, right after using it, it must be transported to the regional command, refilled, and it must come back. So you can also see that if we have, no matter the number of cylinders that you may have, depending on the fires that you go, you can exhaust all of them within a very short time. Now, if there is another fire and they are exhausted, what do? You have no choice than to go in
but
there.
ACFO, I like it when you people show us the statistics, fire statistics. And what statistics do is that they give you an idea of what to expect. While it is important to use that to warn us, it's also important to use that to plan.
Sure.
So if you know, for instance, that, okay, there are 17, on the average, 17 fires a day, and they are within these areas, the expectation is that I plan in a way that I expect fire, even though, in Ghana, nobody expects a bad thing, but you should expect, and so you should always be prepared. Why is that a difficulty?
No, we do pre-planning every day.
So if you do that,
yes,
then that should actually tell you that you should put in place those equipment.
No one fire is the same. No one fire is the same.
Sure.
Based on all tactics that you may apply, it doesn't really add up. It doesn't add up because I don't know, you may go to a fire and maybe even within just one day you may have to exhaust all the 17 cylinders that you have. You understand? So the statistics work, but they don't really work when in real time if you really want to look at it critically, from my experience. You understand? Yes. So yes, we plan, but it's difficult to meet the ravages of fire and the occurrences of fire on the go.
I'm interested in the retooling. That 12 to 15 year gap, when you're in charge of national operations, when have you been told that the Ghana National Fire Service is going to be fully retooled with fire tenders, breathing apparatus, and PPE that your personnel need?
Well, we've had some commitment from government this year, and then to retool and improve our welfare conditions. At least we can see Honorable Buntaka talking about the insurance team for fire service, which is a very good thing. I hope that all these commitments will be matched by dedicated funding timelines. You understand? And then also occupational health unit that will kind of focus on air pollution.
Okay. So, you talk about hope. The minister is talking
about... But then, no, the point is...
You let me finish.
Okay.
I like it when I know.
Okay.
We'll do it at this time. So that when I am coming back, you see, I said, you said you were going to do it at this time. But if you leave it open, then you will tell me, but I didn't give you a date.
Okay.
Based on your discussions with the minister, when will the Ghana National Fire Service be fully retooled?
I'm very sure by the close of the year. I'm saying this because I'm privy to some kind of information. Okay. And let me also say that fire tenders are not cars. You understand? They're not just ordinary cars that you go out there to pick on the market. If you need a fire tender, you need to go and give out your specifications as what you need. So fire tenders all around the world are not the same. With our terrain, with our roads, with our shortfalls and short of hydrants and stuff, we have our own specification that we need to give out for those things to be done. That has been done, and as far as I know, those things have been pushed forward, and the procurement process is going on. The order has been done, but now it's left for the manufacturers to do it and then bring it to us, to our specification.
Before I get to Desmond, so beyond the equipment, are you planning routine health screening for firefighters, particularly for lung and respiratory diseases?
Yes. Our health directorate is taking that.
Why don't you even do that in the first place?
You see, the point is, the the service is growing. It's growing at a very slow pace. I've been in the service for the past 37 years, but I can see that we've made progress. It's not growing as we expect it to be. You understand? Some of these things are being it's being addressed as recurrent costs. It shouldn't be. You see, the budget should be ring-fenced. Budget for things like that should be ring-fenced so that that particular budget will not be affected by any budget. It is solely for that. So because when that budget is ring-fenced,
That should come from your planning. That should come from your budgeting. You should indicate that this is what you want to put down, and you put it down. Why should that be a difficulty?
no, it's not difficult. What we do is the point is, we of course we push our needs forward, okay, and then when we push our needs forward, we expect government to come to our aid and to do what is needed for us, okay. Let me say that fortunately we've got a government listening to us now. Let me put it that way. Or we've got a committed interior minister who is pushing to make sure that we are comfortable. And that is one thing that we are so much happy about. Okay. So we know that things are going to improve. And we know that very soon, by the close of the year, all these things that we are looking out for. I'm privy to the fact that we are looking out for area firefighting tenders. We are asking for foam tenders, and we are asking for rescue also tenders. So
I'll get to you, Desmond Appiah, who's lead of the Clean Air Fund Ghana. We've also been joined by Assistant Chief Fire Officer Grade 1, ACFO Osmond Anum, Deputy Director for National Operations of the Ghana National Fire Service. This morning our focus is on fighting fires, fighting for breath. How firefighters are struggling to actually put out fires in our various homes. And, there's this message that someone sent me. I just will do this briefly, and when I come, I'll get your thoughts on that. But, someone listening to the conversation says, I have, okay, there's one that says, Winston, it says, when they are properly tooled, we are all safe because, Winston, you and I are more likely to experience a fire at home than will be robbed to require a police officer. Fire lives with us, yet we almost always resource the police constantly while we leave the Ghana National Fire Service. I have a friend who is a firefighter, and when he speaks about their problems, he almost cries. Aside from the poor tools, they are poorly paid. We'll talk about that. But for 13 years, Asante Travels has created unforgettable journeys and lifelong memories for thousands of travelers around the world. This August, it's your turn. Experience the excitement of Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Malaysia, Bali, Singapore, Thailand, Nairobi, and Zanzibar with exciting 13th anniversary tour packages. Book today by calling 0595 500 817 or 053 100 8550. Visit AdanceTravels.com. Adanse Travels at 13. Feel the joy. And the countdown is on. The APSA Auto Fair in partnership with City FM and Hollard Insurance is bringing Ghana's leading automotive brands and thousands of car lovers together for one exciting weekend. Join us from Saturday the 22nd to Sunday the 23rd of August at the Good Park, Accra Mall, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. for the biggest auto event of the year. Bring a friend, bring the family, and come and explore vehicles. Enjoy test drives, insurance, and affordable finance options from APSA Bank while you pimp your rides with new accessories. Looking to showcase your business, you can still book an exhibition space by sending us a WhatsApp message on 0541 361237 today. And talking about vehicles, welcome to the future of mobility in Ghana. At Drive EVGH, we're not just selling cars, we're selling electric. We're not just selling electric cars, we're launching a movement. All electric, all style, zero fuel, zero noise. Cut your transport costs by up to 70%, that's right. No more oil changes, engine repairs, or long queues at gas stations. Drive now, pay later, no deposit, no excuses. And thanks to our amazing bank partners, you get instant approval, great interest rates, and super flexible terms. Want that luxury electric vehicle is yours today, and when it's time to recharge, we've got you covered with X-Charge EV, our blazing fast smart charging network, fully self-serve, app-enabled and growing fast across Ghana. Whether you're a smart driver, forward-thinking business, or someone chasing sustainability goals and SDG success, this is your moment. So, are you ready to ride the revolution? Drive EVGH, Ghana's #1 electric car company. Visit their showroom at Burma Hill on the Mahama Road. For inquiries, call them on 0596 513 0596 513056 or 0554 6410. Drive EVGH, drive into a sustainable future. Okay, so let's continue with the conversation. I still have in studio with us this morning Assistant Chief Fire Officer Grade 1 Osmond Anum, Deputy Director for National Operations, Ghana National Fire Service. Desmond Appiah, Lead, Clean Air Fund, Ghana. Desmond, let me bring you in at this point, okay? So tell us the policy gaps that are leaving firefighters vulnerable to long-term smoke exposure.
I would not be able to say that this is a specific policy gap, but what I can say is the implementation of policies and also capacity development gaps. The first being, clearly there's a Labour Act which sets out the responsibility of employers to employees in making sure that they are safe. I mean, it goes all the way to talk about even provision of water and sanitary places of convenience and all that. So clearly, we as a state have a responsibility to our firefighters, not just to rely on their patriotism to fight the fires. And like your texter alluded to, all of us are at risk. Sometimes you hear about fuel tankers that are involved in road crashes, fuel tankers that have caught fire, and we rely on firefighters to get to the space and to our rescue. Market fires, house fires, and the education, even bushfires, which these days we don't seem to be talking a lot about, but we know that there's a lot of bushfires, and there's training and capacity development for communities to do that. So in terms of the implementation and the planning, as Mr. Anum mentioned, that there's been progress, but clearly there's still a gap there in terms of the planning and implementation, supporting, taking advantage of even the industry. I mean, if we're looking at what kind of support insurance companies are giving to firefighters just to ensure that they are not taking the bad side of the stick, because when something goes wrong, ultimately, if you have insurance pays. In other jurisdictions, insurance sectors are really supporting some of these proactive interventions. And so if I think about, and I think I would also mention about the minister's commitment. And Winston, you asked about when you can come back. I think the documentary mentioned that it was last year when the minister talked about procurement for the fire service, and we are a year in. So if Mr. Anum believes that by end of year, I think that's a timeline for us to be able to be asking some questions. But specific on implementation of safety policies, I don't know the fire services safety policy. I don't know how they ensure that they are implementing it in terms of regular training and capacity, not just in terms of fighting fire, but all the things that come around it. You know, ensuring that you are safe, you know the hazards that you're exposed to. It's not just the fire. There's heat, there's the diseases which this documentary is laying bare. There's also the post-retirement. I mean, if we don't have a study which is showing what impact people who have worked in the fire service over time have been exposed to. All that is not available. And part of Clean Air Fund's job is to help to bring the evidence that are relevant. And that is why this documentary, we are supporting it, and we are very excited about that. But it is raising the awareness of all of us. Today we're talking about fire. Maybe next time it will be about the police force, the MTTD, and then their exposure levels to vehicle emissions and the like. So the part of our work is to ensure that we try to throw light on some of these areas that we don't seem to be paying attention to, so we can act.
And talking about throwing light on these areas, finally from you, what should government be doing beyond simply providing PPEs?
I think when the government, I'll break it down. There's the bit about the local government. There's a bit about even the governance system within the fire service itself. And in the local governance, I would look at it from in markets or in the areas where there are hotspots for fires, the steps that can be taken, you know, the planning, the layout, even the arrangement. If you're doing, you go to a market where maybe a shop which sells flammables is close to maybe a cooking area, you know that straight away. There's always the conversation about fires, wiring in the market. These are local government responsibilities. that we need to be on top of. When you come to the fire institution by itself, even in this our conversation and listening to the documentary, there is opportunity for much better planning and implementation of the plans. You know, the reason why we want to get evidence to the attention of those that are making the decision, so that they can be making evidence-informed decisions, and not decisions based on our own whims and caprices, but these are informed. Then you come to central government. This is the employer of the firemen, and so their safety is a prime responsibility of the employer, and in the provision of the logistics and the like. And again, to the fire officers themselves, taking advantage of the things that are there, the resources available, raising the concerns as they are doing now, which they should be doing. I don't know if they already have a complaint system within their structure, and that there's a culture within there to help to bring these things up. Because if we don't do that, government can produce all the resources that they need, buy all the PPE. But if it says when you use the PPE, you need to wash it. In the documentary, I saw that they said they are drying the PPE. Now, if you go into a hazardous environment and there's all this soot, black carbon that has been on your safety gear, and you just come and dry it, and next time you put it on, you have not achieved the goal. Because when you begin to ask those questions, then it dawns on management either to provide a washer, a shower of sorts, so that people can then go and have the showers, then wash their PPE and be sure that they are sorted. And then again, officer mentioned about if the oxygen tanks are only at the regional centers, do the outlying stations have the resources to be sure that they go and refill and bring it back? Because if you don't do that, then you can go to a place and they'll show you these are our cylinders, like going to a hospital and say, these are oxygen cylinders. It does not mean there's oxygen in them. And so if there's the need, what do you do? So I think government, in providing those resources, which they are promised to do, there needs to be the structures to support the actual implementation of those things, so that next time when the documentary is done like this, we would see that there's a downward trend in the causes of the fires, in the fires themselves, and in also improvement in the safety of our people.
Okay, quick two questions for you, ACFO. So first, what happens to firefighters after retirement? Is there any system to continue monitoring their health for illnesses linked to years of firefighting?
Let me say for now, no. We now have a research and monitoring department which has started doing some of these things, trying to find out like causes of deaths and stuff in the fire service, so we can do the appropriate addressing or rectification or whatever system, redressing or whatever we have to do. So that is what we have at the moment. So firefighters now, or retirement, like do their own personal screening. Yeah.
Okay. Now, finally, what is the single biggest intervention the Ghana National Fire Service needs right now to better protect its firefighters?
I would simply say equipment.
Equipment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Equipment, including PPE, including small gears, including everything. You see, the point is that when the fire tenders come, most of them are not, they are procured without those things. Because those things, there are some basic things that are already in the tenders. But when they come also, there are other equipment that must be procured and then placed on the fire tender to do. And in fact, we are enthused with the commitment from the government as we speak. And like I said, I'm privy to a couple of things, and I know that definitely by the close to a year we should have received our tenders coming in. We are just poised and waiting for it, because for training and all that kind of thing, we continue to train because we have to, as we even wait for the things that has to come. And the more we train it, we are even able to manage our old equipment much better. Okay, yeah. So that's what we have in place at the moment.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Assistant Chief Fire Officer Grade 1, ACFO 1, Asmond Anum, Deputy Director for National Operations, Ghana National Fire Service, and Desmond Appiah, Lead, Clean Air Fund, Ghana. But ACFO, so if corporate Ghana wants to assist you, they can, right?
We are really open to every organization, every entity, every corporate thing that wants to come in and come and help.
I think we all must come together to help the Ghana National Fire Service. Still live here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages with more of your thoughts.
It is only for a few hours with barely enough pressure to fill a container. This is the reality of a water crisis that residents say has turned an everyday necessity into a daily life struggle. The problem for residents here is not only how long they go without water, but also how little time they have to get it when the supply finally comes.
Some time now we've not been getting water. What they do is they open, I think, Wednesdays into Thursday. But then we don't get it. It's not able to go into our tanks. So it means that should you sleep and then you are not able to wake up early to meet the time is opened, you wouldn't have water.
Then again, what flows from the taps is sometimes unclean, often looking muddy or milkish.
Sometimes the water is even dirty. You can't use it.
With the taps unreliable, residents have had to look for other sources, mainly depend on water tankers, but the cost is becoming difficult to keep up with.
Tankers no money ba, 1,000 cedi, and no money bray.
The tankers charge 1,000 cedis for a tank. What work do we do that every 2 weeks we have to buy water for 1,000 cedis? There's no money to keep buying it.
See, water is life, but
and for those who cannot afford a tanker, buying water in smaller quantities is another option. Some pay as much as 5 cedis for a single gallon.
Some places, if you go to fill a gallon this size, it costs 5 cedis for one. Imagine you have about 10 people at home. How will you manage with 1 gallon?
Some have also turned to boreholes, but that too comes with a problem. The water is salty because the community is close to the sea and has to be treated before use.
Some of us have resorted to borehole because the tanker is expensive. That's about 1,000 cedis for every trip. So we've dug a borehole, but unfortunately it was salty, so we have to, yes, because we are closer to the sea, and then we would have to treat it before we use.
For James Appiah, he turns to the sea to bathe, but because seawater does not lather easily with bathing soap, he has to use a detergent instead.
The water crisis can be so severe that sometimes we do not even get water to bathe. We use detergents when we have to bathe with seawater because the bathing soap does not lather. If not, you would have to use sachet water. I've been using this same water to wash the shoes I sell for about 2 months now.
The residents' cries to authorities, particularly the Member of Parliament for the area, have so far not yielded any results.
We have informed the NP and the MC and even visited the MP's office 2 or 3 times. He says he will come and see the situation for himself, but up to now, he hasn't come.
For now, residents' alternatives to hygienic supply of water have elapsed. All they want is a proper solution to the problem that has gone on for far too long.
For Joy News, Evelyn Ampa, Teshi, Accra.
So let's get some answers. Head of Communications at Ghana Water Company Limited, Stanley Marty, joins us. Thank you for joining us and good afternoon. Has this come to your attention? Can you unmute if you can hear me?
Thank you very much for having me. Yes, we are aware of the situation around the Demo Bush Road area. We are all aware that last week we had some challenges and we had to shut down the bond treatment plant so that we could have them repaired and then for us to have more water in the system and to serve consumers. So that work is done, and within the tertiary area, this week we have been doing we have been putting some mechanisms in place so that we can get water to that area. And so we are doing everything possible. We are aware, it's not like we are aware. But it all started because we had to shut down the treatment, the
9.7 FM and Virtual Security Africa brings us these tips today. And the tip today says, use a unique password for every business account. Please pay attention. Store passwords in a password manager. Enable multi-factor authentication wherever it's available. I like the bit about use a unique password for every business account. I tried that. It's difficult, but if you do that, it would help you. That is brought to us by Virtual Security Africa.
And the Digital Assets Summit Africa 2026 returns to Accra on the 16th and 17th of September at the Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City. It's held in collaboration with the Bank of Ghana's Virtual Assets Department and the Securities and Exchange Commission Ghana. And this year's summit will bring together policymakers, regulators, central banks, financial institutions, investors, and technology leaders from across Africa to explore how digital assets can drive investment, create jobs, and economic growth. And if you want to register, go to dasummitafrica.com.
You know, sometimes the big moments start with small things, like a call to a loved one, memo transaction to support family, a bundle to grow your business. But what if they could lead to something bigger than you ever imagined? With the MTN at 30 promo, every call, every text, and every browse, every Momo transaction and every connection to home fiber and every activity on my MTN app earns you points towards amazing rewards, including 9 brand new Toyota Land Cruiser Prados, over 10 million Ghana cedis in cash prizes, and unforgettable experiences just for you. Because every move counts, dial star 530 hash or use my MTN app to participate now, and let's stay connected everywhere you go. MTN at 30 promo, make every move count. Terms and conditions apply.
We are still in the sustainability month. We have a lot of conversations coming up. How can we keep our lights on? This morning we've spoken to the fire service. It's all part of sustainability. How does water reach your bucket? Those of you in Nungwa and places who are not getting water. Food is also one of the big conversations.
And this week we'll have a conversation about food.
Yes. Now, it's all part of the sustainability month, so don't miss out on the conversations that we are having. If you have problems with land guards, road safety, all those are conversations we are having as part of the Joy Sustainability Month, and it's sponsored by MTN and Momo. And you know, first week of September we'll have the Horticulture Expo. It was supposed to be in June. It was rescheduled to September. It's all coming up, so look out for that.
Well, the Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited's back to school promotion is here with us once again. So from now to the end of September this year, Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited is offering a generous 15% discount on all school items, including pens, pencils, erasers, exercise books, and more across all their branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Takrady, Winnipeg, and Cape Coast. Parents, teachers, students, please hurry while stock lasts. For more information, call 0302-764-101 or 0302-764-209 or email info@kingdomgh.com. You can also visit their website, kingdomstoreonline.com. Kingdom Books, where quality and affordability are both assured. Terms and conditions apply.
And something big is coming. Is the Republic Bank Joy News Habitat Fair 2026. And if you've not planned and told yourself that this year you are joining the Habitat Fair, giddy, do it now. It's your gateway to home ownership, an exciting property opportunity. But we have the first mini fair, which is coming up at the Achimota Mall on Friday 21st to Sunday 23rd of August. So it's this Friday to Sunday. So come and explore amazing offers, connect with industry experts, and take the step towards owning your dream home. And if you want to sponsor, if you want to exhibit, you can call Selassie on 0233-233-444. The Republic Bank Joy News Habitat Fair is in partnership with Republic Bank. We are the one for you. And powered by Drive EVGH, drive into a sustainable future. Virtual Security Africa, security for all. Akwaba Building Materials, your partner for stronger project. Less Fortune Limited. MTN everywhere you go, Doormasters, Ayuda, Saint Gobain GH, Clifton Homes, and Sitechi Ghana Limited. Right?
Sure.
Yes, and Habitat Fair 2026, home ownership, a lifetime investment. The Republic Bank Joy News Habitat Fair. Get a house, make it a home.
And SIC Insurance PLC wishes to inform all shareholders that the 19th annual general meeting of the company will be held on Thursday, 20th August, that's this Thursday, 2026, at 11 a.m. at the Wesley Towers, located at number 3 Ambassadorial Enclave Ridge, Accra, opposite City House. It will be in a hybrid format, either virtually or in person. For virtual attendance, visit sicinsuranceagm.com on August 20, 2026 at 10:45 a.m. and type in your 5-digit unique token number.
And SIC, they are doing very, very well. And did you come and show us skills at the Joy Sports Invitational?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. What's the name of the CEO? James Ajeni Wati. He has to come and show us the skills.
Come and take the penalty kick.
Yes. You can't win in the boardroom and not win on the pitch.
Oh, you miss some.
Yes, so he should come. Mr. James Ajeni Boateng.
As for the penalties, he will miss some.
He will miss some.
I've tried it, it's not easy.
Oh, Joy Sports Invitational 2026. This on Saturday, 29th of August, the last Saturday of this month at the University of Ghana Stadium. And it's a Joy Sports Invitational. We have the football, we have the CEO penalty shootout, we have the arm wrestling, lime and spoon, sack race, tag of peace, female penalty shootout, and one thing is guaranteed: you would have a very, very unforgettable day. And before the competition begins, you get your body moving with an exciting aerobic session from 6 a.m. So rally your colleagues, wear your company colors, and come ready to compete, laugh, network, and create memories. To register your company, call or WhatsApp Slevin on 053 100 3813. And the Joy Sports Invitational is brought to you by Toyota, Superior Quality, Ayuda, Ghana's #1 services app, Abaco Services, Bibre, Latex Foam, your partner for life, Minerals Commission, the regulator of the mining industry in Ghana. The Joy Sports Invitational. Let's compete, connect, and celebrate the true spirit of corporate Ghana.
We'll be right back after these.
Our treatment plant. Hitherto they were getting water regularly, but for some time now they've had to get water only on Wednesdays and then Thursdays. And so sometimes pressures are not enough for water to get to that area. But I want to assure them that we are not sitting aloof. We are aware of the situation, and a lot of work is being done so that at least they can all have water. Next week, Wednesday and Thursday, when they are supposed to have water, they'll see our people in the area doing everything possible for them to have access to water.
So if I understand, the report that has been happening for months is not true. It's just happened a week ago at the time you shut the plant down.
We prior to the shutdown, we had that information. So I'll say maybe just a couple of weeks ago. And so because you had to shut down, there was nothing we could do because the water is not flowing. You can't actually work. So now that water is flowing, next week, this Wednesday, Thursday, our people were in the area. We managed to solve some parts of the area. And then next week, we hope to do more. The challenge is, because we've been off for a while, a lot of people have their receptacles empty. And so now that water is flowing, more people are filling very huge receptacles, so the pressures couldn't build up very well.
Is it for Teshi you're still talking about, or generally?
Yeah, within the Teshi area, and there's some other, especially the eastern part of Accra. So this week we experienced some low pressures in most areas, just because a lot more people were filling their receptacles. Now next week we hope to see some improvement, but they'll see us in the areas or within the communities doing everything possible for them to get water. They have to be rest assured that we will never sit aloof without doing anything about it.
Usually for situations like this, when you have to shut down a plant, do residents of the community know this? Because then one of the residents was just telling us, or my colleague reported, that he's been using the seawater for the last 2 months. Is it that there are pockets of issues in that particular area, or this was just due to the plant issue that you're telling me? And did they know that you're shutting down the plant for these works that you're telling me?
Yes, everybody is aware that we have shut down the diesel plant since October last year. And when after shutting down, we put other measures in place so that they could get water. So since then, they've been gathering water Thursday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And I'm saying that it is only a few weeks ago that they've started experiencing this, especially around that area. And that place is on a hill. So if pressures are low, definitely most people won't get water. But I'm saying that we are aware and we are doing a lot of work to ensure that they get water. They didn't get water last weekend or the last week because more people were fetching water, especially people close to the source were filling their receptacles. So then pressures couldn't build up for the water to go a bit far. But next week, they'll see us in the communities and they'll see that a lot more work is being done for them to have access to water.
Okay, so for residents watching us this afternoon from Teshi, it's not that next week they'll get water, but next week they'll see you in an attempt to want to solve the problem. Give or take, how many weeks did you think they should be getting water?
In the process of solving the problem, water should flow.
Okay, right. Thank you so much.
So barring any technical hitches, they should get water on Wednesday and Thursday.
Stanley, thank you always for joining us on the news.
And you want this fast?
I want it fast. And I want it fast because the law constitution demands that we conduct trials fast, quickly, speedily. It's a constitutional provision. Article 19(1) says that.
Yes. I think one important thing they also need is a strong safety department to coordinate all their needs before they move to fight any fire. Okay, thank you very much, Anne. And then there's one, I think it's a long one, okay. Says, good morning, please ask the GRA officials. Oh, the GRA officials unfortunately have left us, but you wanted us to ask the GRA officials about the fact that how do you expect a brand new unemployed startup to pay an upfront tax assessment of 4,000 just to get a tax clearance certificate? Okay, I've been unemployed for 6 years, have no income, and I depend on my wife to keep family going and need the tax clearance certificate solely to access a supply contract to start trading. I want to do the right thing and pay my taxes, but I haven't made a single cedi yet. What flexible support or concessions exist? We'll pick this one up with the GRA. That'll be all from us here on the Super Morning Show. My name is Winston Amoah.
My name is Kojo Boateng.
Have a lovely